And what is up? Welcome back. It is Friday night, and you are here with the Average Boys podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and you're gonna see my two homies with me, and we got our special guests too. I got Brian Dia and I got Michael Betancourt in the house. What is up, my guys?
Yo, 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 yo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
Mike, man, it's good to see you, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm alive. I am well and exhausted. Yeah, the school semester for me has finally ended. I got 3 days to turn in roughly 40 pages worth of research papers, but yeah, we're doing all right.
Awesome. How's college been going, man? Tell us about it. Tell us what you've been doing.
It's been interesting. I have learned that the vast bulk of people that are out there that study myth, that study legend as a career, as a field, have no idea about pop culture. So I come in with a really weird view on these things where they're talking about, oh, we think we found the Trojan horse and it maybe actually have been real. The Battle of Troy happened in this approximate area. And what does that mean for our culture? It's like, well, I mean, Brad Pitt already did it. And we saw how they explained Achilles and his heel there. And it's a really weird mix of they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about and are very excited that I'm the weird one in the room.
Nice.
I mean, you were telling me that there's some people in there that got some like crazy ass ideas and stories, and they can go on and on and on. But then again, they're people that have been dabbling in that shit professionally. Like you said, there's like people that are like museum curators and shit. Like they're just surrounded by that type of shit all day. Yeah,
matter of fact, one of my classmates by the name of Liz, she's a curator for the Museum of Natural Arts and Sciences in Los Angeles. She just installed a huge exhibit from James Cameron and his submarine he went to study the Titanic with.
Nice.
So she has the actual
watch too.
So what?
Did you get the watch too? His
the
Rolex
watch?
Or what did he have? He had like some. I remember they gave him some special watch, and they were like, "Yo, test this shit. Take it all the way down there." I want to know what phone service he had because apparently he answered a phone call from his wife, dude. The middle of the goddamn ocean. Goddamn it.
Cricket. There's obviously cricket.
I'm in South Texas and I already have bad service. Come on, man. This guy's like 20 miles under the sea and he's over here checking his Facebook and YouTube and shit. Brian, what about you, man? How's everything been going?
Dude, man, I finally made the move.
Yeah, you're in Vegas now. Look at the back behind you.
I'm in the new spot. If you like
look at my spot.
Some of you guys might
my homie Balrog is in the back and
might know the background. But no, I'm gonna be used. You guys are gonna get a lot of this green screen for a while because I got a little bit of a fixer upper on my hands here. So once I get that under control, we should be good to go.
Dude, my favorite background so far has been this one, and I've been wanting to use it. I just never get the opportunity to because I don't know how to perfoot it. But I just want this dude like. He's just like looking at me like I've just like hurt his feelings and shit. I never use green screen, but like this guy right here, he doesn't like me at all, man.
Shit, Batman, yo.
Right now he's Batman. He hates everything. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy hell of a week. It's been a really, really crazy hell of a week, and it really doesn't have anything to do about anything that's like coming out. Because I mean, the only thing that we've talked about that's coming out, of course, we got the Spider-Man 2 trailer. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Or Spider-Verse, not different. Into the Spider-Verse. We have that actually. No, put the freaking Poppy Edward in the back. I like his face, dude. He just looks so disappointed in me. But it's because I don't have a green screen, so it doesn't work too well. It's just super angry and shit. But the other thing that, of course, dropped this week was Avatar 2. We're going to talk about that also. And then, of course, I think the biggest thing that came out this past week, and of course, it's been kind of dabbling in the background, is, of course, everything going on with DC, which is what we're going to be talking about. But for now, I mean, we haven't talked to Mike in a while. Mike, what other stuff have you seen recently? What came out that we discussed a couple weeks ago that we want to get Mike's opinion? I know you were talking about it too a while back, Brian. Wasn't it something like in the sense of like the thing that was going on with Bob Iger and Chapek, or it was something that you wanted to ask his opinion?
No, I think Mike might have been in the comments, and we were.
Yeah, I think I chimed in on the Iger.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, once again, you know, Mike brings up some great points. And I like to debate with him when I am on with him, which is seldom. So I do appreciate these moments. But no, man, I'm actually glad to have him on today because especially when we get to the whole Warner Brothers and DC thing, I'm very interested to see what he thinks about just the state of DC and what James Gunn has done so far. So can't wait to get to that. But yeah.
Yeah. So excellent. Let's talk about it. Spider-Verse. So we recently got a trailer. They brought in Haley, what's her name? Harley Seinfeld, the chick that plays Hawkeye, Kate Bishop.
Haley.
She's actually one of the characters. She plays Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider-Verse. And she interviewed the directors and they brought out a trailer. We got to see it this past week. You guys get to watch it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
What do you guys think, man? So far so good, or is it kind of like
it was really a teaser.
Yeah, I'm with Brian. It really is a teaser, and I feel as though we're getting a really weird mix of what Spider-Verse did in the comics, where something is coming and Spider-Man are starting to gather to stop something, and we're going to be blaming Miles for it apparently. So, and it feels odd from what I'm seeing. But Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099 looks like a boss, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, looks like an animal, man. He's just fucking mean as hell. And that's also played by Oscar Isaac, Mr. Moon Knight himself. So that's cool to have him in the franchise. Brian, what do you think about it, man?
I dug it. I really liked the first one. I think I went twice in the movies to see it, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the first one was amazing, man.
The first one was really good, but I think this one may have different writers. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not 100% sure on that, but no, I'm excited for it. Again, this was more of a teaser than anything.
Yeah.
You really didn't learn much. You didn't even get to see. You really didn't even get to see the villain in this trailer. So I'm hoping to see a lot more from the next official trailer that comes out. So but it was cool.
We do get what's her face, Spider Woman. Jessica, what's her name?
Jessica Drew.
Yeah, Jessica Drew's in it. How do you guys feel about that? They did, of course, we got a gender swap, or no, not a gender swap, race swap. So the character used to be a regular Anglo woman or whatnot. Now it's a black woman. How do we feel about this? Does this change the character? Does it change because of the culture? How does this go and improve on the idea of like Miles, where his character was kind of like originated as the first Black Superman? Now we have Jessica Drew as now, I guess, a new character that's going to be canonized as a secondary or a second Black Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be third, because we're looking at the UK Spider-Man also. Spider-Punk is a black guy. So it's the third, my bad. But a lot of people don't know that. I really got to know.
And Spider-Punk is going, and again, that's the another reason why I'm calling it a teaser is because Spider-Punk is going to be in this movie.
Man.
So we didn't see him in this movie, and I forgot who he's getting played by, but he's getting played by like a major actor as well.
The main star from Nope. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh yeah.
From Nope. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the guy that he was in Black Panther also, right?
He was in Black Panther.
The Rhino guy.
The Rhino guy.
I can never remember his name.
I didn't know that. I can never remember his name.
But yeah, he's gonna be in this movie. We didn't see him, so again, there's gonna be a lot of things that they haven't shown yet that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, mind you, we did get a lot of fan service in the trailer. There's a lot of Spider-Man that were shown that I never thought we'd see. We got Scarlet Spider, both iterations, Ben Reilly and Kane was in it. Yeah. We have the armored Spider-Man. We have werewolf Spider-Man hanging out in the background. There was a lot of deep cuts in this trailer.
The Fantastic Four garbage,
the amazing Bagman.
Yeah, dude.
That's going to be interesting. And not only that, I know that someone caught like a snippet in one of the seconds of frames and Superior Spider-Man there. So we're going to get the Otto Octavius variation of Spider-Man, which, of course, when they meet up in the Spider-Verse for the first time, it's pretty interesting because Octavius, of course, is like, I want to be in charge. Why is this guy so important? And then all of a sudden, of course, the Peter Parker, the 616, kind of like makes something happen. And he's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, this guy's got, he's the main character. I'm the supporting role or whatever. I get it. But yeah, it's very interesting, man. For me, I wasn't really that hyped about it. I kind of feel like it was just an elongated extension of the trailer we got the first time, where there's just like a lot of mess and running around and swinging and Miguel O'Hara grabbing fucking Miles Morales and slamming him on the ground and running. And it's kind of like, okay, we kind of got this vibe the last time, but why? Like, why is Miguel there? Like, we've already waited this much. Like, give us something. Give us something. I kind of felt like we got a little bit because at the end we see Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, and Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara standing there, and it kind of gives you this like Web Warriors kind of vibe, or the ones that are like the Spider-Man that go across the universe. I don't know if you remember that UK Spider-Man was part of that also. Yeah. So like it's actually a really interesting kind of like set. I think the Knight Spider-Man was in it, like the one that's like a knight, like an actual fucking knight. I forgot his name. Like
I'm going to be massively upset if I don't get Japanese Spider-Man, the emissary of hell in this damn thing. Yeah, he better show up with
and it has to be a real man, dude. Like it can't be animated. Like it needs to be a real dude. That would be super cool. I think so far the only thing that excites me really is the nostalgia of having all of these different Spider-Man. That's what I'm kind of waiting for, the wildness of it. I'm kind of worried if they do try to bring the Morlun character and all of his like weird ancestors and all of those people. Like, do you remember that story in the Spider-Verse? Like, all I forgot what their names are, but the guys that eat the Spider-Man.
They're like the Inheritors or something.
Yeah, the Inheritors. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the name of their group. And they're these dudes that look like Interview with the Vampire characters. Like, they're just all Victorian styled out. And yeah, they literally feed on Spider-Man in different universes. Actually, they feed on any animal superhero that's part of the animal totems.
Yeah,
which so I guess you would kind of consider like the Black Panther to be one of them. I guess Namor now, since he's connected to the serpent god of Talocan or whatever. I guess you can kind of consider him an animal totem also. But of course, like when that happens, that means more than likely we're gonna get Silk. You know, we're gonna get we got to get what's his name too. What's Uncle Ben, but what's his name? Ben Parker, the one that's actually the Spider-Man or something like that, but the older one.
Yeah.
And then the child, there's supposed to be a baby.
I'm looking up a list of all the Spider-Mans that were spotted. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like
there's a lot, dude.
Yeah,
like
and
the PlayStation, the PlayStation, the
PlayStation one's there.
Yeah.
The PlayStation one is in there.
Version,
it's so crazy. No, that's what I'm talking about. The PS1 version.
Yeah.
Someone even sent me like the Spider-Man that they drew as like a soccer, like the soccer themed one with the CA.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone sent me that one, and I was like, dude, there's no fucking way they're gonna put a soccer Spider-Man, like a soccer themed character. Like a Dallas Cowboy Spider-Man, just some dude wearing Dallas Cowboy colors or some shit. Like it would be nuts. I just thought of Dallas Cowboys because of Brian's jersey.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the comments real quick. Elizabeth asked about Mayday Parker, Spider from the MT universe, and she's confirmed she's
in there. I'm looking at it right now.
She's as a baby. Yeah,
I think she's a totem, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a lot of people in there already. It's kind of ridiculous.
So with the Inheritors and stuff like that, let me see real quick. With the Inheritors, that's kind of like the major story. But the Inheritor story is such like an awkward thing though, like to have it to where like I guess the one thing I guess everybody wants to know is if the MCU version of Spider-Man is going to be coming into the animated version of the Sonyverse Spider-Man, right? I guess that's the thing, because then from there you would start to realize then Cosmic Spider-Man's there, which is the one that inherits the what's that one power, the universe power?
Yeah, it's
I forgot what it's called. It's off the top of my head, but it came out in the Venom
universe. Thing. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the freaking power either, but yes, I know what you're talking about. Now, the only way I see this being a problem for me is if they don't give respect to these types of villains, because they were killers. They ate Spider-Man and Spider-Women. And here, I think they need to present them as an actual threat if we do get them. Which is why I think Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, seems so pissed and scary in the trailer. Something is much worse coming from, because his universe is ruled by Doctor Doom. Doom 2099 rules that place. So there has to be something bigger, badder, scarier coming, and he has to be coming back to stop it. And it's the only way I would have said it. These guys have to be monstrous in some way. I wouldn't want them dumbed down and, I mean,
and the Inheritors team they're super OP, man. I think the Inheritor guy, I think he beat the shit out of Blade once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not only that, the father of the Inheritors. What's up?
There's 25 Spider-Man in this
it's just from way worse, dude.
Just from this. And not only that, so yeah, I'm assuming that they are just going to demolish like more than half of them.
Yeah, it's gonna get wild. I think someone said it in the comment section. Yeah. Robert in the comment section, he says there's probably going to be about 50. I wouldn't doubt it either. And not only that, like each Spider-Man is going to get that's what trips me out too, is when you guys saw the trailer, every character had his own style of art.
Yeah.
Every character was drawn in his own style. I thought that was super impressive. So I think the Spider-Verse, and of course Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness, those are the kind of movies that can pull off like the different designing in between the universes fairly very well. So I was really, really excited to see that happen. Of course, what's cool, Miles is a little bit older. I'm kind of confused about that. So I'm guessing there's going to have to be some type of time jump, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the story's going to start like right at the end of the last film, because she takes him to the portal. But then, of course, when he's talking to his mother on the bridge, or I guess like on the roof of the apartment or whatnot, like he seems like he's aged up a little bit. He seems a little bit more
there's
like man
definitely
body.
there's definitely a time jump. Like I think.
Oh, now we got a full lag.
There's going to be, but then there's going to be a time lapse. I'm in and out.
Yeah, that right there you cut out just a little bit.
Okay,
you're good now though. You're good now. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I think that's where there's going to be a time jump after we pick up from the last movie.
Yeah, my working theory right now is that it picks up at the end of the last movie, and he goes gallivanting off with Gwen. He goes playing for a while. They jump universes, they do their thing, they hang out, they date or whatever. And while that's happening, the big bad, the inheritors, find Miles.
Yeah.
And they find that universe where there's not a Peter Parker, where it's easier to kill a Spider-Man kind of a deal. And that's what causes Miguel to have to go into the multiverse. That Miles gets hunted and tagged probably.
And you know what? Like I think it's for me, I think it's a little bit different. I think like Gwen she goes and picks him up at the ending of the last film, and then they end up going to like that Spider-Verse area where all the Spider-Men get together, and Miguel is going to be already chasing down like the inheritors or whoever the big baddie is, who's probably going through all these different multiverses and taking out the Spider-Man. And what's going to happen is he's probably going to go somewhere and notice that there's a character like Miles that causes a situation or does something where he loses a Spider-Man. So when he shows up there at the Citadel of all the Spider-Men and he sees Miles, he's like, hey, it's your fucking fault. And then that's when he attacks him. That's what I think was going to kind of happen. Because to me, that kind of makes more sense. Because we know that at the last Spider-Verse movie, right as soon as Gwen goes to pick up Miles, Spider-Man 2099 is sent on his mission by Madame Web at the end of the other one. And then he, of course, lands in like the meme. He lands inside the meme one. But I mean, that would be the only reason why I would assume anybody would attack Miles Morales in that situation, right? Because they had to have seen him somewhere. He had to have done something stupid, bro, Peter Quill style. And then they attack him and everybody gets pissed. And then he leaves. And then that causes your time jump. Because then he's just like, nah, well, fuck this. Fuck that spiderweb shit. Fuck that Spider-Man stuff. I'm going back home. And he never dwells in it. Never dwells into the Spider-Verse. And then finally he's like, look, wherever you go, whatever you do, just make sure the mom says like something about just make sure you protect that one or something. To me, that kind of gives us a little hint that he's going to have to do something to protect someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if I'm not mistaken, it has to be the totems. Like one of them, maybe the baby. I think it's like the baby was Ben Parker or Mayday Parker. He's going to have to protect one of them. Or maybe that's what it is. Maybe like in one of the stories, he doesn't protect someone the correct way and they just think he's going to fail. So it falls on the whole, like the last movie when you have to jump or something to know when you're ready. Now it's going to be, can you be the hero kind of mentality? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, either way, I think we're stepping into a great movie. I think all of us can agree that Sony's the only one that's kind of hit it on the head when it comes to taking care of their animated series. Of course, DC takes care of their animated series too, but so far so good. The Sony movies have always been kind of weird, but we know that the animated Into the Spider-Verse one, the first one was awesome. I think I'll be right there, die on that sword. I think it was an amazing series. I cannot wait for this one. And I know
it was a flop in the movies though, by the way.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. It's an animated film. It's not something that people are like, yo, let's go see it. They'd rather see like, they would say something like, I think during that time it was like, well, why didn't they just make this live action? They should have just made it live action. And
it wasn't until it hit Netflix, that it really took off. And
still to this day, it's probably one of the best Spider-Man movies. Like probably one of the, I'm not even gonna lie, I think it's one of the best. And I'm excited, of course, for part 2, and we know it's going to be a 2-part series. So if I'm not mistaken, the last time that we did it, they did an interview with Into the Spider-Verse. The director said we are working on part 2 and part 2, 1 and 2.
What's this time thing, like this wrist time thing that I'm looking at on all these Spider-Men? Like, I think that might have a lot to do with the plot here. Like so, they're
in the comic, they have to use those pieces to help them jump across the universe
between the Spider-Verse. Yeah, okay. Otto Octavius builds them.
So they just have they have the option of just doing that for them. Like they all have knowledge besides Miles.
What's really weird is like in the comic books, the Spider-Men are very similar. I mean, but then again, the stories are always so crazy. You would consider who would be the Green Lanterns? I wouldn't say the Spider-Men. The Green Lanterns would be primarily the Nova Corps.
Yeah,
because the Nova Corps protects.
The Nova Corps are Green Lanterns.
But the reason why it works really well for Spider-Man is because they call it the web of the multiverse. So like when you look at the multiverse as a drawn out figure, the lines in between that you would normally use to like red line where you're following a map, they kind of consider that to be webbing. So they've always made it to where the Spider-Men are kind of like maintaining the web of the multiverse. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. And that's where Madame Web comes in. She kind of conveys the multiverse, kind of like the seers in Greek mythology, I guess, when they look at the thread of life. Right, that threads thing. I guess that would be kind of similar to what she does, but that's kind of what they do. So when the Spider-Men come together and they know that they have to transfer the multiverse, you have to remember Peter Parker in the comic books is like borderline genius, close to Reed Richards. So like when he and Otto Octavius is even way
how old
smarter.
do you? No, I wanted to ask you a question. How old do you think he is when you see that time jump? Like when you saw him with his mom
Miles?
on the rooftop.
He was what, a freshman?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing like 14.
I say after the time jump, he's probably closer to 17, I would think.
Yeah,
he's
17, right?
When he's sitting with his mom, I'm guessing like 17. He'll probably be like close to junior, senior year. Why? What did I miss here? Oh no, you already know. Brian already knows some secrets and shit. How old is he?
No, I don't know. But if you're saying 17, I mean, that's right around the age young men start to lose certain things. Tell me he ends up clapping Gwen Stacy's cheeks in this movie, bro.
In the comics, they do hook up several times, but then again, Miles Morales.
I don't care about the comics, bro. I want to know in this movie, does he lose his V card, bro? That's all I want to know.
No,
I would love that.
Movie. They're not gonna show that. They're gonna
Why
kiss.
not?
He will get, he'll get a bootstrap scene. So it'll be like, it'll fade to black, and the next morning he'll strap on his boots.
And it'll be like, morning stretch, and you'll be like, yeah, we played a lot of Monopoly. That's about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a kid's film.
Yeah, he went past go and collected $200 straight up.
And shit. But that's kind of like her forte in the comics too. Jessica Drew was literally like her best comic art was when she was pregnant, and I think
she's pregnant in this one.
Yeah, but I forgot who wasn't the father like a Skrull, or for Jessica Drew's, it was something like that, right? But like. Yeah, and not only that, Jessica Drew's character is very important. I mean, of course, Secret Invasion, she ends up being like a Skrull, and it's just nuts, man. Her character's all over the place. But yeah, the Spider-Verse 2 looks pretty good. It's kind of exciting. Can't wait for it. So far, so good. I mean, I what do you think could ruin this movie? What would suck if they were like, hey, we're gonna do this with the Spider-Verse?
Honestly, I think for me to ruin this film would have to be to crap out the important Spider-Man. So we have like Superior Spider-Man he needs to be an asshole. Like that's Doc Ock. I think the only humble moment I ever saw Superior Spider-Man do was when he realized Peter Parker could have taken his head off at any moment.
Oh yeah, dude, when he was holding back. Yeah, that was
I can't remember what issue it is, but Superior is going fist to fist with Scorpion. And he unleashes with Peter Parker's body and takes Scorpion's jaw off. He punches it off. And he realizes, like, he pulls back. He's like, Parker could have killed me at any moment.
Yeah, he realized
Mike, you're doing the thing that Chris likes to do, right? You guys both like to get in, like, your comic book bag, right? And then set yourself up to where if it doesn't even remotely resemble that, because you right now are describing how they will ruin this movie for you. And basically, you jump straight to if they're not sticking to the source material. This is what I'm trying to get Chris out of, because it ruins the experience for you, and then you become jaded. Just like look at his face, look at this man's face, sir. And then you become jaded like my man over here, bro. I'm trying to save you.
Yeah, I have to give it to you. You're 100% right. The fear of jading yourself by accident, but at the same time, I like to say that I'm an entertainment slut. So as long as this movie makes me smile, as long as this movie gives me entertaining pieces that I can enjoy, I'm down for it. I'm okay with a bad
Look
movie.
at that is something Chris will never say.
Brian,
He will never
I'm going to
say.
tell
He
you
will
right now,
never
no
say
one
that,
is
bro.
watching Spider-Verse because it's a good story. They're watching it to see all the Spider-Men that they've seen in the video games, in the comic books, in the old 90s cartoon. Fuck, people are asking for 70s characters like that. They weren't even alive during that time to even notice who those fucking people were.
I get that, but the thing is with this version of Spider-Man from the Sony verse or whatever, you're gonna get a good story. The first movie was a great story, so yeah, and that was chock full of Spider-Man as well. So like this one's gonna be more obviously, but I do think that even if it doesn't stick to the source material, so like exactly, I think everyone is still gonna have a good time. That's what I think.
I think so. I think, of course, like not to lie, the Spider-Verse and the Spider-Man comics and the cartoons and shit like that, like back in the 90s, there was a mess. It was a mess. It's kind of like
which
Batman.
one?
Yeah, because
the comics?
Like, the cartoon was a mess.
Wait, no, don't say that. Not the Fox Spider-Man.
Yeah, because the 90s cartoon ended up coming out saying that the Spider-Man you were watching wasn't even Peter Parker. It ended up being a clone of Peter Parker, who was Ben Reilly, who was there because
this guy's like the
Peter
fucking
Parker, they did that to go with the Clone Wars comic that was
dude,
at the same time.
No, this guy Chris is like the Grinch, bro. You're gonna just crap on one of the best you're trying to take a big dump on one of the best cartoons ever fucking made on Fox, and you're gonna crap on it.
Literally, they had to retcon 90s cartoon because of it. They literally were like, okay, cool. Like later on in the cartoon, the Spider-Man you've been literally watching. I'm telling you. And this is where people, but they retconned the shit out of this because they were like, yo, we fucked up. We really fucked up in the 90s, man. Like it was bad.
You are the only person with this take. You know that, right? You're the only person in the world
who are fans of Spider-Man know this.
Nah, man. Everyone in the world loves that Fox Spider-Man animated show.
Yes, it's true. People love that. I think it's a great show. It was like Batman the Animated Series. It's probably one of the greatest superhero cartoons.
But
towards the end of the cartoon and into the comics, they went and came out and said, "Oh, that Peter Parker, that's not even Peter Parker."
The end, they gave you a whole beautiful freaking show, and towards the end, they may have been like, "All right, a writer or two might have gotten fired or something."
They
you're gonna
X-Men it, dude. They X-Men it. They gave us something, and they didn't even follow suit.
Unbelievable.
You
Unbelievable.
have to take the situation at the time, Chris, into account. So Fox Animated, for the Fox 20 property, had to follow as closely as possible the comic book storyline towards the end because Fox was going bankrupt holding on to the Marvel property. So the only way to make extra revenue was to sell comics. Yep. So if I can align the cartoon to the comic book, I'm going to bring up viewership and sell some comics. So I'll make more money. Yeah, so that's the only reason we got that. So once Marvel got out of the problem, was no longer bankrupt, they sold off Ghost Rider and Fantastic Four and everything. We came out okay.
Did you see
Liz,
Elizabeth in the comment section?
Okay, time out.
Then the 90s X-Men, Gargoyles, Spider-Man.
We're I didn't see this coming, but we're gonna do this. Just for you.
That was awesome, dude.
This is gonna be just for you, Liz. Okay, because I didn't see this one coming. And you're challenging what I'm saying. Okay. Batman, I will give you. All right. Hands down. X-Men, I will give you 1000%. Gargoyles is better than Spider-Man.
I'm gonna agree, man. Gargoyles was good, bro. Gargoyles was fucking good.
Mike.
To this day, Gargoyles is so good.
Tell me, what's up?
I love Gargoyles, but, and this is the big fucking but, it can't top Spider-Man. I
like Gargoyles. I love Gargoyles, but it's not better than Spider-Man. I'm sorry, bro.
No, Gargoyles even has one of my favorite lines ever said by a villain. It's fucking Shakespearean. Xanatos is standing on top of the castle before they have to move everything, and he says, "Pay a man enough, and he'll walk barefoot into hell." And that's a fucking memorable last line.
That's pretty deep.
But animated Spider-Man gave us like
the
Jackpot Tiger.
Everything.
We are Venom for the first time. You know, there are moments
Morbius and Blade. It brought in Blade.
Yeah. Listen, Liz, I love that you're watching and that you're engaging. I love it. I don't want you to stop, but you are just out of pocket with that one. I'm sorry.
You're out of
pocket,
dude.
Totally out of pocket with that. I'm sorry.
That's funny, dude.
I love Gargoyles.
I'm gonna agree with her because Gargoyles was right on the cusp and drawn in the same fashion as Batman the Animated Series. It almost followed it to a T in the same theme. So if you're a fan of the Batman Animated Series, which kind of like correlates because Batman the Animated Series was like you watch that shit at like 9 p.m. before you're gonna go to bed, and the Spider-Man series you watch Saturday morning. Like that's that shit that's like Christmas shit.
And
like,
then we got Manny.
Two different vibes. Like it's just two different vibes. Gargoyle
Manny Chavez.
Was one of those like
Manny Chavez coming out here with the power of heart for Captain Planet.
Yeah, Captain Planet. I like the Don Cheadle Captain Planet. Manny,
I'm not gonna lie, yo. Captain Planet smacks, bro.
Hey,
like
Captain
I watched
Planet
that.
Was a
I watched that before
back
a lot,
in the day, man. That dude was like, "Oh, you threw a straw out the car? Fuck out of here!" and flips your car over and shit.
Yeah. The SNL, is it SNL or Mad TV where Don Cheadle's Captain Planet?
Oh, that was
that was amazing.
What was it?
Funny or Die. Funny or Die.
Yeah, Funny or Die.
Yeah,
that was. They had a part 1 and a part 2, and like, man, that was good. You're a tree. You're a tree. Look at all the pretty trees. Now that shit's Shakespearean to me, man.
Yeah.
That shit is Shakespearean. But straight, like I think there are ways that they could mess this up. One of them, I think, if they don't modernize in a way, the Inheritors, I think that kind of sits dry. Because you're looking at people who look like the Brotherhood of Mutants.
But
you know what I mean?
Why
looking
modernize in a media world that is killing it with like Interview with the Vampire that came back out?
Yeah.
You know, we have The Imitation that was a silent success for its budget in theaters, and now it's killing it on streaming services. So I don't think you really have to modernize their look, but you do have to make the story palpable because that story, Chris, you and I read those comics, and that's several years of horse shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of jargon, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hot air, man. Like it's a lot of craziness. Like I think one of the most exciting times was when they brought the father in because he fights Cosmic Spider-Man and he fucking wrecks him. Like he kills him.
Yes,
he fucking kills him in front of everybody. The dad even shows up to like a radiated planet where Captain Cosmic Spider-Man is like literally the god, and this dude fucking breaks his neck. Like the dude's pretty powerful, but then they take him out like a bitch. Like I was like, what the hell? And of course, like the last son, Morlun, is the one that's like the major asshole. He's like the stronger variation. You end up having like one of the inheritor kids that ends up like helping the Spider-Man to stop the father. Like
scuba diver helmet.
Yeah, he's got like a scuba diver mask or something. It's very weird, but the reason why I think it's weird to me is because they look like a bunch of cast from the Interview with the Vampire. Like, what does that have to do with like Spider-Man? Like,
wait, I'm sorry. I gotta stop you guys. Is it confirmed that the Inheritors will be the villains in this movie?
No.
Are you guys?
Spider-Verse.
We're just going on a weird ass.
Yeah, we're just going off of what the Spider-Verse story is.
I was gonna tell you because like I was gonna let you guys just like chill and just like ride out, but he's like they aren't the villains in this movie. You guys,
who are the villains in this one?
The Spot is going to be the main villain in this movie.
The Spot?
Yeah.
The Spot is the dumbest villain possible.
I was like trash. That was, you know what? That was very.
You guys are going all off the deep end with the Inheritors. I'm like, they're not. I don't know if they're in this movie, dude.
But the Spot is equivalent to the dude that's the Dot Man or whatever in the Suicide Squad, except he just throws portals.
He throws portals. Yeah.
Portals to what though? The multiverse? Like this dude's like, what? That's even a weirder character than me. That's like
I believe honestly that the Spot is the bad guy we're going to see, but he's not the villain.
Yeah, he's not the villain.
Yeah, especially we have multiple parts to this thing. Somebody else bigger and badder is going to show up.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, we had the Vulture in one scene. Like, why isn't it confirming that the Vulture's a villain? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I just think in this movie, now you're right. Maybe there is somebody behind the Spot or something like that. But in this movie,
I like Saul called it hard.
Comment and he's like, and the excitement is over. The Spot or whatever. You know what? That was very similar to what we heard today when we got the post, I think from Robert, talking about what they want to use Donald Glover for the Spider-Man movie.
Oh, the hypno.
Get the fuck out of here. They better not, dude. That would be like me saying, "Oh, dude, in Avengers Endgame, Stiltman was gonna be like one of the major villains for Thanos." You'd be like, "Still what? Get the fuck out of here!"
We saw what Stiltman did in Marvel vs. Zombies, so I'd give it. But you know, if Donald Glover wrote that movie, I'd watch it. He's a great writer. There's gonna be some awesome comedy, something I'm not expecting.
No, I mean, look. Again, this goes nothing against Daniel Glover. I love the dude. I think even in his role in the Spider-Man movies, I think they're fantastic. I think they're funny. So to have him, he's literally like the new age Bruce Campbell in the Spider-Man movies. Yeah. Like he's literally been in every one of them, and he just looks at Spider-Man and he's like, "You're stupid." Like he's so funny. He's literally Bruce Campbell in the Tobey Maguire series. So to have him come out as the Prowler. Like to have him literally come out as a Prowler is like, that's genius. He's already Miles' uncle. You know what I mean? That's already funny to me. But then to say he's going to be the hip master.
You know what? I think it's weird because he's been on this Spider-Man fixation ever since he was denied the role for Spider-Man.
A long time ago.
The reason why he is the Prowler is because he made such a stink of it that they just threw him a fucking role.
No,
like, all right, bro.
The other thing was too is that the community wanted to see him as Miles Morales, but he aged out. He literally aged out, and the series was like, "Yo, we fucked him. We should have put him in there. We should have put it." And they were like, "You know what? Like, well, we could still pay him homage. We heard the people. We know what they want. We're gonna make him the Prowler."
How was he ever going to play Miles Morales though? Like he
was offered, not offered. He approached the role or was told about it when he was doing. He talks about a stand-up role, and it was like in 2013.
Yeah, I think it was right
he was like super long time ago. He was young as fuck, dude. He was like college level, like college age, and he could have put off a Miles because that's literally Miles in the video game.
I mean, if Zac Efron can be a teenager in fucking High School Musical, he could have.
Just him and Baywatch, dude, as the kid from High School Musical, dude, just bulked out as fuck. Have you seen him recently?
Yeah.
You see that jawline, man?
He's jacked.
Did you see that jawline? That's amazing. But then what happened was he was like in an accident. He almost died, and he ended up breaking his jaw, and he had to do surgery. So if you see his jaw, it's super like.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking man jaw, dude.
But no, he's getting in shape because he's got a role for a wrestling movie that I'm waiting for actually.
And you know what? We talked about that shit, didn't we? But I was telling you he would be a badass Mr. Barber the Beefcake. Remember we talked about that, remember?
Yeah.
Boom, like 2 months later they brought him in as a
Von Erich.
Von Aaron. That was wild as fuck. I like his bowl haircut, man. That shit's wild. I can't believe they got that dude to get a bowl haircut. That guy used to be like the pinnacle of like teenage love life shit, dude. Now that guy's got a fucking Ace Ventura haircut. Get out of here with that, dude. Yeah, the Spider-Verse is it's something interesting. It's something cool. I'm happy we got a teaser trailer, but I am not happy we got a teaser trailer. I want more. I need to know what's going on. I need to see something, man. I need to see something. And I don't want to know it's the Spot as the villain. I'm
sorry. Listen, again, I was really fencing.
You heard, right?
I was fencing whether or not I was gonna be like, guys, you guys can stop. But I was like, it'll be fucked up because I'm sitting here like.
If the Spot ends up being the villain, Brian, you and I are gonna buy Spot T-shirts. You're gonna wear them on air and just piss Chris off. I'm
just gonna wear a Twister shirt, dude.
I'm envisioning. I should. You know what? I messed up. I shouldn't have said anything, and then I should just let it ride out. And then when Chris finally finds out that it's the Spot,
you're just gonna
his head just instantly
implodes, dude.
Just combusts. That would have been great. That would have been great, yo.
I would literally die inside, man. That's just horrible, man. Yeah, let's hope it's not. But onwards, next part of the conversation, gentlemen. So going on next, other than that, this week that is away from the main subject that we're going to be talking today. Of course, we have early reactions to Avatar 2. I haven't seen it. Brian, I don't think seen it. Mike, you haven't seen it either. But guys, I must ask, 13 years in the waiting, what have you heard from the reactions of people all around the place?
You know, I heard it was good.
I've heard the same thing. I've heard that the story isn't spectacular, but it's beautiful. And you'll want to see it multiple times just to see everything. And honestly, that's all I expect from this movie. I enjoyed the first one. It was fun. But it wasn't groundbreaking. Like I keep saying, it's Pocahontas in space. That's all we got. The first one. I'm not expecting more than that.
I got to say something real quick before we go on to the next subject. Sal asks, right before we ended the conversation for Spider-Man, which Spider-Man do you think they will kill to prove a point to the inheritors of killing Spider-Man?
Peter Benjamin Parker. Peter Parker from the first one.
Yeah.
But he's got a kid, though. I think he's got like a kid in this.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's the daughter.
So wait, you're
That's
telling me that they can kill fucking Peter Parker that just had a baby, but Miles Morales can't get no cheeks, bro?
Brian, no. I'm with you. He deserves the cheeks. He deserves it. I hope my man gets it all day, every day.
That's the thing about the multiverse. We know Peter Parker gets it, but in Miles' multiverse, we don't know the Miles of all the different universes get it.
He's gonna be ass now, bro.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I think you're right. They're gonna end up killing like Peter Benjamin Parker, and then the daughter is gonna be the totem, baby totem. That'll make so much sense. That would make a fuckload of sense if they did it that way. And Miles is a guardian. That's right. He's one of the guardians of the totem. He's like one of the elite Spider-Men that protect the totem. That's the whole story about protection. So that kind of correlates to that too. My theory is they're going to kill off Cosmic Spider-Man. Like, cause he's cool, but like, you got to take the God person out because he's way OP. And if you take the OP out, it kind of makes the audience feel like there's no hope. Kind of that's okay. I mean, it hit really hard in the comics. I think it's still a smart move. That's what I say for that one, man. That's what I gotta say. What about you guys? You guys think about probably the same thing? I mean, it's
significant Spider-Man. Yeah, I like your idea about Peter Parker. I think that might be the way. It would suck, but because I liked him from the first movie. But yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, that would be so heartbreaking. But yeah, I see it. I just don't want them to kill Nicolas Cage, dude.
Spider Noir,
yeah, or Ham. Spider.
Oh, is he confirmed in this movie?
I don't know.
More than dude, they got to come back. Those guys, him and Spider Ham were like.
I think that's it. That's my theory is that Miles will get like caught up in a jam and then they come at some point. Like they come to bail him out.
We saw Spider Benjamin Parker.
Yeah,
we saw Spider Benjamin Parker in it. So more than likely, the other one, Gwen, of course, is in it. So for all of them to have some type of meetup and do the high five and wow, we had an adventure and boom, one of them gets fucking Thanos'd out. Shit hits the fan, dude.
Out of that group to not kill the new dad in the film, Spider-Ham would be the one to go.
That's
Spider-Ham.
Right there. But do we really want him to go, bro? Like
no, dude, of course not.
Spider-Ham's gotta come through, bro. I like him, though.
But yeah, Spider-Ham's he's good.
Spider-Ham has the benefit of being an animated character in an animated film. So he has Looney Tune rules. He'll die.
Yeah, you can't kill a guy like that
later on.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't kill a guy like that. That's the wildest shit. All right. Well, yeah, that's my thing. Cosmic and Benjamin Parker. That's a really good call. I didn't even think about that shit, but good one. Good one. Okay, onwards, guys. So what have we heard about the James Cameron hyper realistic, super crazy, filmed in the middle of the sea, filmed on Mars, filmed on the sun, Avatar 2? What do we think, man?
Mike, I'm gonna give you the floor here because I'm gonna need some time for mine now.
On my end, it's 3 hours long, so take a piss bucket because sweet Jesus, you're gonna want to see everything. Apparently, the graphics are amazing. The world building looks beautiful. The water scenes apparently are great, and it's all in here. It just seeing it is amazing. The storyline, it's nothing new, nothing special. It focuses more on mixing generations, apparently, which I mean I'm glad to see. Focusing on old characters and then the kids that are coming out in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not hearing anything groundbreaking story-wise. It's pretty as hell.
Yo, I probably missed out a little bit, but what's the story so far?
So far from what I'm getting is it's been years since mankind has left this planet.
13 years, as a matter of fact. God damn,
and they're coming back with renewed force. They're coming to take everything over, get that unobtainium that they didn't get the first time, which is the worst name for a material ever.
Oh, so you're telling me it's the same movie again?
Mike,
it's the same
fucking
movie.
Marvel and DC, they do the same shit. Hey, the medals are numbers. There's like 1th medal, 2th medal, 3rd medal. Come on, the 9th medal. Come on, man. They do all that shit. Unattainable's in Marvel, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's not in Marvel. I don't think.
Isn't that above vibranium or some shit like that? I know that there's like a stronger metal in Marvel, and it's like unobtainium.
No, it's adamantium, vibranium, and I can't remember the other. It may be. I don't know.
It's some nutty shit, dude. It's some nutty shit.
It's just the name bothered me so much because like it's unobtainium. It's unattainable, but they're drilling the damn shit. Like you're obtaining the unobtainium.
But they never get it. They're just like, oh, it was so close. I'm unable to get it. It's so unattainable.
Yeah.
They need to write that in the script. I hope they write some witty shit like that.
Yeah, so mankind comes back, go back to war. Our Na'vi that we knew from the first one, Jake Sully and his family, go to the water versions of their people to try to get help fighting, and they don't want to fight mankind. They're like, leave your land war up there and let the water people stay down here. And that's kind of the gist I have until seeing this thing and writing out 3 hours of it.
I want to ask Robert because Robert's seen it, and I want him to be like.
Robert thinks this movie is the best thing since
Robert.
bread,
Robert it's so good. Yo, so the thing that I've heard is kind of like the same thing. The graphics, the fucking CG, all of that shit looks like, wow, they made the water look like real water instead of just going to an actual fucking place of water.
I think they did both though. I think they did do a lot of like on scene underwater shit. And then CG.
But James Gunn is the kind of guy that's like, yo, I flew my actors to Neptune because that planet is all water. We went to the same planet that was in Interstellar, the one that's like per every second is like a year. Like he's that kind of weird motherfucker that just doesn't like he probably he would film Aquaman like underwater and be like, don't worry guys, I have a submarine. You'll go outside and come back. It'll be safe. He's wild. He's wild. I think if I'm not mistaken, James Cameron actually asked if he could film on the moon one time. Like if he could do like scenes like in space or some shit. But yeah, so from what I know is like, it's kind of like the way the Matrix was. They brought in a whole new type of technology that they wanted to push front for filmmaking. And lo and behold, the story is like mediocre. It's kind of like Fern Gully 2.
Okay, Fern Gully 2. Because I would say, man, I will go and fight your ass on Fern Gully.
Avatar 1 is Fern Gully 1. Like, that's all there was. They even had the big tree machine that Sully goes and beats up. You know what I mean? Like, they just didn't have like a big oil monster that looked legit as shit come out of it. But it was the same
with the voice of Tim Curry, because I mean, honestly, that guy's voice is
and
sex.
Tone Loc. You don't forget Tone Loc.
Tone Loc.
Don't forget Tone Loc. He was a fucking Komodo dragon for fuck's sake.
Yeah, some Gila monster looking thing. I know what the hell.
But like I was, man, me and Brian were talking about this last week, and I feel so bad because it's like, what are they gonna do? Like these motherfuckers, it's a tribal movie. It's like Indian movie or whatever. Like, what are they gonna do? The colonizers are just gonna come back to try to take their other shit, and they're just gonna bring
the same fucking story, bro. It's the same story, bro. That's my only problem with that. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with everybody, all right? Because I gave you your turn, all right. I was almost about to break today. Like I was riding by the movie theater and I saw like how packed it was. I'm like, damn, because all I heard was it's visually
stunning
appealing,
and stuff,
and it's just like it's awesome to watch. I'm like, damn, like I kind of don't want to miss that. But if the story is just trash, I can't sit. Why does it have to be 3 hours? Why can't you just make a 2-hour beautiful fucking movie with a bad story? Why does it have to be 3 hours? I don't care.
James
give me a two.
Measure his dick by hours he puts in. That's all he's going to do.
Don't need that. I need a. If your story is shit, condense the shit into 2 hours, and I'll sit there and I'll hand you my money. I'm not gonna sit there the extra hour with a bullshit fucking story.
James Cameron comes in and he's like, "Look, you gave 4 hours to Snyder. Give me 3, guys. Give me 3, and I'm gonna make you extra buildings and warehouses."
I could not do it. I could not pull myself to sit there knowing that has been the critique of this movie across the board, is that the story is bad, right?
Okay, so
no way of getting around it.
Robert puts this in the comment section, and he's not the first person I've heard it from. He said, just like I said, man, it's totally fucking worth it. Watching it in IMAX 3D, they put a whole new laser on it, and it was closed for like 2 months. Are you talking about like the way that they projected? Like, oh, you know what? Are they using like the laser projection now?
Yeah, that's what they did.
No,
that's
I
like a
heard
little,
I heard the IMAX 3D is
like beyond crazy.
incredible. It's incredible. So that was the reason why I almost broke. But dude, man, you can't. It doesn't need to be 3 hours,
I get
man.
it.
Like
I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was like everyone was like, "Yo, James Gunn actually put work into 3D stuff, guys. Check this out." I was like,
I'm
"All right."
gonna call it right now. Chris is so excited to talk about DC fucking itself. He keeps saying James Gunn instead of James.
Yeah,
Cameron.
well, he's the only James I know. James Cameron. I haven't said that name since fucking Titanic. You know, pay me as one of your French girls. James Cameron. The last thing he did was a submarine.
And
like,
honestly,
who gives a shit about this?
I want to say this. I want to say this really quick. I'm only giving like my perspective of this because I wasn't a fan of the first movie. Like, I just wasn't. It was also a beautiful movie visually, but
the story
it just
was just a little bit.
The story didn't grab me. That's
Kinda
just
mediocre,
me personally.
Kind of mediocre.
So, and I've heard that unanimously as well, is that a lot of people that have seen the movie and that were giving their initial reactions, one of the things that kept popping up was, listen, if you're not a fan of the first movie, you're probably gonna want to skip this movie because yes, it is beautiful. You're not gonna, it's just not gonna hit. Like if you're not a fan of the first movie, this one's not gonna change your mind about it. It's just gonna be beautiful.
A lot of reviewers are giving that same response, Brian. That is,
Yo,
if you didn't like the first one, this isn't gonna change your mind either.
Are we looking at another flop in Hollywood, dude?
No.
This movie has made so much money already.
This is going to be $1 billion movie. Don't get it twisted. Okay, I'm not gonna see it.
Yeah, because I was kind of like,
have you guys seen the numbers already across the board? Is like preview night. Jesus, the preview night numbers are 87 million preview night alone.
And I've seen.
Imagine going to like a burger place and someone saying the burger looks good, but the taste is fucking trash.
You're describing.
But I don't think that's
McDonald's, dude.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that's what we have here. And a lot of people, a lot of people are predicting that this movie could actually be the savior of
Hollywood
movie theaters in Hollywood. Yeah, like a lot of people are saying that because like a lot is riding on this. If this is a major hit, this could turn things around for Hollywood.
I have to ask then, what does it do for like the algorithm study of what people want to see? Because right now we're saying the story is not good. The reviewers are saying the story is not good.
But listen, what else?
But it looks cool. 3 hours of looking at something isn't gonna.
They covered the bases. They gave you a beautiful movie in 3D. Like who the fuck still wants to see a movie in 3D in 2022? No one. But you will see this movie in 3D, and then you have James Cameron, dude. Like that's it. That's all you need. People are gonna come.
More
just
of
for that.
like an event more than a movie. Are we doing it just because it's like an art piece? Like we're seeing it directly for what the stanza is going to be, not because it's going to be like something that we're really going to invest in.
From a marketing standpoint, we are seeing the algorithm being told to go fuck itself. And people are treating this as a form of art. They're looking at beauty, experiencing a thrill ride without going to a theme park. And I think that's what this movie is going to do. It's going to show that although the algorithm is built into place and we get what we want in theory, there are going to be these outliers that have a big name director with a so-so story, but it's so well put together that we're literally looking like, you remember back in the 90s when we had the Microsoft fucking screensavers on the fish and it looked like the aquarium was on the computer and we watched that crap for hours because that's what we had. It was amazing. And that's what we're getting here. We're getting art on screen and people are going to appreciate that. So it was actually discussed in a PR Daily. It's the public relations group that I'm a part of, and all those advertisers get together to talk numbers. And we went over the numbers for the premiere night, the sneak peek night last night, and it hit internationally and U.S. together 87 million in one evening, guys.
And you know what? Damn, I didn't even think of that.
Do they have a
James
China
Cameron
release?
doesn't suffer from what Marvel suffers from with China and all that shit. This movie is going to be played in China.
It's in China?
Forget about it. It has to be, dude.
Forget about it.
Yeah, like and I didn't even fucking consider that.
Yeah, there is not one
in this movie
demographic
that consists of religion or demons or anything like that.
Oh wow! No, they really did. China box office, Avatar 2 heading for 120 million.
I'm telling you, he plays the game correctly. Like James Cameron, being a director of that nature, is going to be international. Marvel suffers from it. DC suffers from it. They don't get to do the China numbers, man.
Yo, this movie, I mean,
it's gonna fucking kill everybody else in the box office. I guarantee.
This might do it. Yo. This might be number one, yo.
No, but that's not silly. This is the white well of feature films right now. This is going to make or break something. James Cameron already came out saying he had to make billions of dollars for this movie to be profitable.
Yeah. We do remember
he
that.
will.
And weekend alone, we're looking at a track of 250 million plus just opening weekend. Not everything else, not including streaming, not including merchandising,
not including where it's going to go after. Yeah.
And then you got bosses like Todd McFarlane and his action figures out there, and he's pimping these suckers out. Like even I want to go buy the toys because they look amazing.
He's still following like the 2000 format.
Yep.
He's still following like the 2000 format, except that the thing that he's kind of doing is, I think this is more of like a showcase of technology with a comfort of writing just a very safe story.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I get. It's like the dude has the $2 billion in technology that he's placing into this film. So the best thing he can do is just make something safe and show off what he can do at the maximum effort. Real Deadpool kind of shit.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. I'm sorry, really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of these movies that make $1 billion, they have to rely on rewatchability, right?
Yes.
Do you think the fact that this movie is 3 hours long could hurt that?
No. Look what the Snyder Cut did, and the amount of people that watched that thing like it was a fucking religion. Like,
no, dude, not only that, I'll go back and I'll say it. Look at Titanic. Look at Avatar 1.
Yeah,
those still are some of the highest grossing DVD sales films.
Man, I still remember having to rewind 2 videotapes for Titanic. Jesus.
Yeah, and 2 DVDs. Yeah, 2 DVDs. It was one of those things that the resellability was out there. The DVD was there. Because not only that, if you have Avatar 2, you could show off the technology that your TV can do at that range. The projector that they just started to sell like a month ago that does laser technology that's mobile, you could do that one also because it's the same technology that's in the theater. You know, it correlates to everything that's in time right now. It's not the movie that's good. The story's not what's good. It's everything else around it. It's like you said, it's like an event. So like you're going to show this movie to people who haven't seen it. You're going to be at a party and you're going to put it up because it's cool looking to have in the back. It's like moving art. You know what I mean? Like you know what it's like? It's like Justice League 1, the one that came out that Joss Whedon wrote. How many times did you rewatch that at home? I'm not gonna lie, I hated that movie and I saw it 10 times. Justice League 1, the Joss Whedon release. When it became out, I watched it a fuckload of times for no reason. I didn't know why. I always watched it over and over again. I just put it up in the background. I don't know why I did that.
That movie was bad, yo.
Yeah, from a marketing standpoint,
the rewatchability of it's there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say rewatch. I would say replayability. The replayability, not rewatch. You don't have to watch it. You just got to play it. Yeah, like, is there no movie that you've never done that for? Like a movie that you don't even watch, you just play? Like you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to watch this. And you just put it on. You don't watch you doing something else?
No.
Okay. That's what I do. That
I don't like if I put it on, even if it's background noise, it's still something that if I look up, you're gonna witness it. Yeah, you're still I'm gonna want to be entertained by it. I'm not gonna just look up and be like, why the fuck am I watching this? I've never done that.
Look, and right there, George says it too. He knows what I'm talking about. Can we mention that laser tech projector that just became mobile, please? Which is exactly what I just said right now. He knows because he saw it, and I didn't even know that was the technology that they were placing in the 3D stuff. That's the same laser projector they're using in theaters but mobile.
I'm not a big fan of 3D. Like I get it. Like if I were to watch this movie, it would be because it's the 3D experience. But I'm just not a fan of 3D. So like if I do decide to break and see this movie, this will probably be the only one. I
have to ask though, Rob in the comment section. You saw the movie? Did you watch it in 3D, IMAX 3D? Is that what you're saying?
And he did. No, he said that he watched it in IMAX 3D.
And if so, during the experience, did you ever become like jargon or a little bit lost or kind of like not lightheaded or headaches, but like any type where it became like an overwhelming experience?
Are we literally asking if he Blair Witch this movie and vomited?
Oh yeah, there you go, man. Blair Witch right there, buddy. Fuck. Once 3D gets better, it's gonna make people feel like they're in actual motion, right? So yeah, I would fuck. That's crazy.
See, but that's what I go back to. It's not a movie that the algorithm expects. This is a thrill ride. This is a roller coaster. People are going to watch, going underwater, swimming with these creatures, flying through the air,
skydiving and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be experiencing that. And instead of me having to pay out my ass to go swim with the dolphins and they don't take me anywhere, I can go get a 3D pair of glasses, watch this movie in IMAX, and experience being somewhere else.
He also put, no, dude, I felt perfect. Got into a couple hours later, but I didn't feel sick at all. Okay. All right. Well,
how much money do you think this movie is going to make when it's all said and done?
Shit, a $30 fucking IMAX ticket could fucking smashed over with 125,000 people going to see it in the first weekend.
Does it break a billion?
First couple of days, it's going to be a couple million. Say like 15.
Does it break a billion ultimately?
Yeah, trajectory, like I said, over the weekend is 250 mil.
Give it like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it'll break a billion.
I'm saying we're going to hit probably somewhere about 7 to 10 billion. We're going to hit a lot because they have China, guys. They got China, and that's dump the money. Yeah,
China.
Yeah, but no. I mean, I think, again, right now, Avatar is number one with the re-releases because they cheat sometimes. Like Avatar lost it, then they got it back because they re-released in certain theaters and made it back to the number one spot of grossing all time. Mm-hmm. Right now, they're standing at $2.8 billion all time gross.
Yeah,
and that's including the re-releases. Yeah, so I would think that they would need to mimic that or duplicate that to.
Well, shit, what did we get with? Look up the numbers if you can for Spider-Man No Way Home.
What did they get? I'm looking at all. Oh yeah. So they made 1.9 billion,
and that was Spider-Man
No Way Home,
and that was the highest grossing film of this past year in this past phase in the Marvel universe.
No, well, yeah, in the Marvel universe, yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home made one. Right now they're at 1.9 billion, and they made 804 domestic.
And by chance, what would be the highest grossing film of 2022?
Top Gun. Top Gun. Top Gun is number one for this year.
And neither of those had China.
Yeah.
So none of them had China. Yeah.
And none of them had China.
China's going to be ugly because they've been hungry for a movie for a while. This is the first one that we're getting from us that they can actually go see.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Was Oh, yeah, okay, because No Way Home was last year. So for this year, it is Top Gun. Yeah.
And what would be, I guess, No Way Home was last year's?
It was last year's, 2001. Yeah.
Now, and the thing is, like you said, like you're looking at Top Gun based on nothing but nostalgia that brought people out to go watch it and to see Top Gun or what's his face, Tom Cruise come back. Mm-hmm. Now we're looking at Avatar, which if you compare Top Gun, the original film, to Avatar, there was a lot more people that probably went to go see Avatar and a lot more people of the franchise that understand it more and respect it more. The thing about it is, like, since it's such an event style movie, China's going to make a water park for it.
I didn't know they got China, dude. Like that makes
so much more bigger. Like,
see, a lot of people
gonna make fucking like a Disneyland over there based on Avatar.
A lot of people are and the thing is, like, when you have a movie like No Way Home that doesn't have China and still makes like number 6 of all time grossing, you kind of look at China a little funny. Like, maybe we can survive without China. Mm-hmm. But then when you have a blockbuster like Avatar 2, and then they do have, China to back them up, this may get ridiculous, bro.
I think they kill it, man. I think they kill it with Avatar 2, even without needing.
I'm calling it 5 billion or higher. It's going to be disgusting.
Dude, if they make $5 billion from this movie, bro, like, I give
it'll be 5 billion, and Brian will not have spent a single dollar giving to that.
I would feel like the biggest troll of all time, because like I would be forced. I would have no choice but to be forced just to shit on this movie from the rest of my life, because I'll be literally the only person on the planet to not have seen that movie. So I would have picked my side, and I would stay there.
Brian's first in line to go see the fucking Barbie movie, but not this one. That's what he's going to be.
It's a niche. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, you look at the original Avatar, like, if you weren't into like the space sci-fi shit, like, you're not going to want to watch that shit. Like, just some people like drama, some people like serious shit, some people like giant robots in space fighting big blue dudes, like big blue Smurfs. I mean, I'm ready. I'm about that life sometimes. The first, it caught my eye, and I was more impressed that, we were going to see Sigourney Weaver again playing a sci-fi role. That was cool. And then at the time, the guy who was playing the main role was in Clash of Titans, was in Terminator. He was on all these cool franchise movies, and I thought he was a badass action star. I thought he was like the next the guy that plays Sully. I thought he was like the next Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of guy. Like I thought he was gonna be like the next Keanu Reeves, John Wick dude.
Yeah, Sam Worthington, right?
Sam Worthington, yeah. Because then he ended up coming out. And I like the Clash of Titans films and Wrath of Titan, so I was real like, dude, it's good.
All right, let me ask you guys one more question before we move on. If we are moving on, so let me get you guys' take on this. If this plays out the way that Mike suggested it does, that would mean that James Cameron has three of the top 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier.
Three of the top 4 highest grossing movies of all time. Now,
that's the other reason why I think he's gonna break $1 billion, just because
that's not the question that I want to ask. My question is, if you were to pull that off, you yourself, Mike, let me ask you specifically.
Okay.
You're James Cameron, and you wake up one morning and realize that you have 3 of the 4 top grossing movies of all time. Could anyone tell you shit in life after that?
No.
Warner Brothers can't. Warner Brothers can't. We're gonna rename Warner Brothers to fucking Cameron Land, man.
I would walk right in that door. It's like, you know what? Get Steven Spielberg on the phone. We're gonna make a live action Animaniacs movie. I fucking can do
everything, man.
Yo, you can literally walk into any studio and write your own ticket for the rest of your life. It's gonna be James
Cameron, or it's gonna be Warner Brothers and Cameron.
Yeah,
that's what it's gonna be. But it's gonna change the whole damn IP, man.
That is insane for one
but then
man
again,
to
that's
have
the
that.
thing. Like I told you about that last week when I told you that he walked into the studio and was like, yo, give me like a bunch of $1 billion so I can make my movie. And someone gave him some slack and he was like, you're in the building that I created for you. Give me my money. Like this, he's got nuts. Man. This motherfucker.
I keep the lights on in this motherfucker, okay, bro. I should have like a wing. I should have a wing on, like in this building somewhere.
Yeah, you like the cool ass water fountain we have outside? Mine. The dude's got nuts, dude. Like he just went in there and said, "Yo, give me."
And James Cameron is literally living the Bruce Wayne lifestyle. Like that's what he is. He's banking everywhere. No one can tell him no. He owns all the buildings they're working in.
Yeah. You could put out a shitty fucking Terminator movie. No one cares. No one remembers that. No one's gonna remember that. Yeah,
it's cool. Right. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's a very interesting thing. Avatar 2 coming out, busting $1 billion, getting China. I didn't even consider that shit before we even talked about it.
That's clutch.
What are the odds, man? What are the odds you guys go watch this movie?
I'm talking shit, but I'll probably watch it once.
My wife and I are gonna go see it next Tuesday. We already got it booked.
I don't know, man. I don't think I'm going to see it in theaters. I'm just going to wait it out. There's something
too pretty not to see that thing in 3D.
I was like,
listen, I'm the biggest skeptic here, bro, and I'm like, I heard that it's just too pretty to not watch it, bro. Like you gotta watch it, bro.
I'll probably end up watching it when it comes out streaming or something. I'm not in the movie going mentality anymore. I feel like I'm kind of like sour on it, and I have to see something that I'm really passionate about.
I'm gonna quote Brian again. You've just jaded yourself into being myself. A man.
It's that one trailer with what's her name, Nicole Kidman, that comes out for AMC.
Does that piss you off?
Fuck me up, dude. That fucks me up. Yeah, because I can't go and enjoy a movie like she does. I don't make that kind of money. I can't even afford the popcorn that she's eating. God damn.
Christ.
I don't know, man. It's something about it. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't sell it for me.
Look, and then, of course, it is not a paid advertisement or a sponsorship. But I will go down saying you need to join the Cinemark membership thing for $10 a month, dude. They give you a free ticket and they roll over. That's how my wife and I see all these movies. Because, I mean, I'm a Brooke Mexican.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't Movie Pass or something. Yeah, we have it at least here in Texas, and we pay $10 a month, and they give us one free movie ticket a month. So we hoard them until there's something we want to see, and then we use that to go see.
I keep telling
you,
and
you can roll over.
Yeah,
like you can
roll
over every month. Yeah,
and
there's no blackouts.
Snacks. Nope.
Wait, there's no blackouts. You can't they can't tell you which movies you can't use this for. Oh man,
you're in the wrong state,
ripped. Man. Yeah, dude,
you're in the wrong state, dude.
I would love that over here, bro. I would stay in the movie theaters at that point.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Rob's got that. Rob's got the elite pass though. I don't know what he's got the AMC thing. Like he goes, he's literally at the movie theaters once a
Rob
day.
hasn't had the platinum level that comes with Hooker.
He's at the theater sitting in the benches right now, chilling out.
Rob is waiting for a movie right now, listening to us. Like,
Rob got picked up by James Cameron to go see this fucking movie.
Oh yeah, James Cameron was like, Rob, here are your tickets.
There you
Take
go.
them, let's go, man.
That's
like, I bought you this theater. It's not Rob's AMC and shit.
That's wild, man. That's super wild. But you know what? Like, I guess the reason why is coming into the next subject that we've been talking about for a bit and what we were talking offline. That's kind of like the vibe that I get, because the things that I want to see that come to the live action, they always get shit on. They get rebooted, rehurt, cut, slapped, and that's what's going on right now with the DC universe. Guys, going on to our next subject, I have to bring this up. What the fuck is going on in the DC landscape of Warner Brothers?
Before we start, I want to give mad props to Brian, because nonstop, as long as I've been guesting with you guys, Brian's been talking shit about why aren't they just going to scrap it? You lost all this fucking money already. Why don't you just get rid of it? Why don't you just not release it? And we've gone and I've explained, profit margins and all the crap that I have to explain. And James Gunn got a hold of his fucking steel balls and just said, fuck everybody, scrap it all.
Yo,
so Brian, you called it, brother. You did.
I'm telling you, sometimes, listen, I'm not always right, but when I am going to gloat about it.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you that I know my shit. No, I'm just joking. But no, seriously, like, he made the right move. I don't want to start this. I don't want to start this topic, because once this is some funny shit. Like, this is really some entertaining shit. And I would say to you guys off camera, like, they don't have anything else to offer us, so they might as well offer us the fucking drama. And I'm here for it.
Man, what's funny to me is like the comments of people that are like, "We had it all, guys. We had a Batman. We had you had a shitty ass story of those characters. Believe me, they're gonna do them better when they get their shit together." Like, that's just what it is. It's nuts when I hear people saying like, "Oh, I heard one of them today that someone was like, Rotten Tomatoes really fucked it. They fucked this up. We had a Batman, and you didn't have."
You have two Batman. Yeah, you have two fucking Batman right now.
Fucking two Batman right now.
Like, do you guys not realize what kind of state this is? Like, you have two Batman running around right now.
And we were about to get a third Batman in the Flash movie. Like, if that's not confusing already enough, I don't know what the fuck is. Second, that Batman had already aged out and passed the arc that was the most important story in his universe, which is where his Robin dies and becomes the Red Hood. Like, the fucking Snyder just was like, nah, I'm not gonna give that to him. I'm gonna give him an older Batman. The only older Batman we care and know about is Batman Beyond. That's it. It doesn't get any better than that. Other than that, you got like what, Kingdom Come Batman. That's a different alternative multiverse, which everyone's like, nah, man, it's not Kingdom Come, man. This is the Snyderverse. And Snyder made it the injustice, awkward. Batman banged Superman's wife and took his kid, and
that was wild.
That injustice. Yeah, the injustice was him fucking the story up. That was the injustice of that story. But that's what he created. Bet. Look at what it got him. Not respecting the IP. Like, he's not making the movies. There's no more Snyderverse. Like, I understand it. I'm not shitting on the guy. The guy did have a serious traumatic situation happen in his personal life. He made a return, and he tried to rekindle that fire by getting everybody to hashtag release the Snyderverse and all this other stuff. But coming back to what? The stories, they're not good. Like, the story wasn't good.
It's dead in the water, and I do appreciate someone of James Gunn's caliber, I guess, to have the nuts to be like, you know what, we're done here. We're done. Like, you guys had your run. It was great. I'm here now. We're done. Like, I'm not gonna pussyfoot around this with you guys. I'm not gonna have you guys stringing along thinking that there's a possibility of us rekindling this. No, it's done. I actually wanted, before we even really dive deep into this, just the overall state of Warner Brothers / Discovery in itself, because like James Gunn isn't the only person that's been having a week. Fucking Patty Jenkins had a hell of a fucking week as well, dude.
Yep.
And that is just another notch in the fact that it's just all fucked up over there. Like, just from all over. It's not just this one sector. It's just the culture over there that's just toxic. And it just keeps getting worse week by week. And it's all on display for us. And I love it. I love them for this.
It's
This
nuts,
is great.
man.
This is great news, man. So for all those that don't know, I guess I'll dive into it a little bit. Just the Patty Jenkins thing of it is she Wonder Woman 3 got axed, and supposedly it was because the script that she came up with was just absolutely trash. The executive scrapped it. Yeah, the executive scrapped it. She took so much offense to that apparently she emailed the executives the definition of the Webster's dictionary definition of storyline. Like, you guys don't know what the fuck a storyline is. Here's a definition of it. Why don't you read this so that you guys know what a storyline is? Really funny as fuck, right?
Yeah,
and so right after that,
she can't do that with what she did to fucking 1985.
Exactly.
She can't do that.
I'm like, dude, do you not understand that these executives have a fucking job to do? And that if you keep pumping out these Wonder Woman 1975s, you are going to get them fired. We can't sit here and fuck with you about this. We let you slide with that Wonder Woman, the last Wonder Woman. Yeah. That was you. You really fucked us on that, but we're gonna keep it moving, okay? How dare you come back in here with this bullshit fucking garbage?
Yeah.
Do you want us fired? Like, what do you want us to do?
Like, okay, so we can give her some slack because Wonder Woman Part 1 was a mid movie, but it was okay. It gave us a really nice introduction. I think the way they handled the villain was shit, with a lot of close shots and just more action and her flying and a lot of close-ups to her character without it, really giving us a definitive villain. Like for her to fight, like physically fight and do some CG action. 1984 or 83 or whatever, that hurt. That hurt how bad that movie was.
Mike, did you like that movie?
The movie is fun to watch and eat popcorn with, but storyline wise, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. She's by the end of the first one, she has come to grips in terms with her role in the world. And it seems like in between the first and second, she's lost that.
Again,
she's forgotten.
It's a completely different character.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a completely different character. It's not the same. It's not the same Wonder Woman that was in the first movie, or even the one from Justice League. It's a completely different character.
And that's the problem. That's kind of my gripe with the villain that was chosen for the second one. Like, I don't know why we didn't get like Big Barda and Mother Goodness and these bigger heavy hitter villains that she can actually have a face to face fight. And we could see her power because we got glimpses of it during the first film. The second, we don't. She fights Chitara, and that's about it. Well, that's her name, right?
And that's because the Chitara story is super awkward to begin with, too, man. They were already working together as friends.
I will never get over just how bad that looked. Like, that is burned in the back of my mind. Like the VFX of that was horrible. And I'm not a nitpicker at VFX. Listen, man. You guys will do a lot better job than I will ever fucking do on that shit. So I very rarely nitpick at that shit, but that's
what they
really
chose to have them do, which sucked. I think there was that part where like Wonder Woman gets that fucking badass looking armor. She flies in and then they tear it off and that was it. And it's like, why the fuck? Armor. Yeah. Why did you fucking wear that armor to begin with? You just taking your invisible plane. It would have been cooler looking. Like she literally just flew in and it had wings and just dodged some shit and then it fell off.
So what it sounds like happened is that Patty Jenkins basically took that piece of crap, repackaged it, and then delivered it to these executives like, here, I have another movie for you guys. Pay me. And they looked at it was like, look, bro, we can't do this with you again.
Well, I mean,
we can't do this with you again,
but
bro.
It's similar to what we talked about before, Brian. Like I've told you before, like I'll even ask Mike. Mike's on the show. Mike, Sal in the comment section too. Big comic book guys. What else can Wonder Woman do other than Jason versus the Argonauts or her going to actual Olympus to talk to Zeus? Like, other than that, what does Wonder Woman in the stories have? What can she really bring out in a story? What villain other than, Bad Barda, or Big Barda or, the mom chick or whatever. What is her name? Mother Granny Goodness. You could bring her out too. But like, there's nothing left for her except if you bring in Darkseid. Like Darkseid has to be prevalent.
You see, but even then, you have like Mongol, and you have these Superman level villains that we forget about because we are so
caught up on the arcs
and have a hard on for Darkseid and Superman to go into Slugfest. Yeah, but if we brought these other heavy hitters in, you could see Wonder Woman do her job. The Justice League animated series did it best. Wonder Woman didn't spend time politicizing things and going after these stereotypical, pop culture girl moments. And I'd sound so horrible saying it that way. But Wonder Woman is a warrior princess. She's fucking Xena. And Xena would go face to face with big villains and showcase that she had power. Like when Hercules and Xena were on in the 90s, I could give two shits about Kevin Sorbo. I wanted to hear Xena scream and beat the hell out of every person that came at her.
Yeah. But the thing is but what I'm saying is like Ares, good. The Greek pantheon in some way, or Amazonia, or whatever you call it, Themyscira.
Yeah.
What else does Wonder Woman have to make a third film? Like, they just used the guy in the last film. I forgot the villain's name, the one that Pedro Pascal plays.
Yeah, I don't remember him either.
Maxwell Lord, right? Yeah. Maxwell Lord was used during Crisis. It's the only time that him and Wonder Woman ran into each other, really. That was during the Brother Eye thing from what is it? The Tower of Babylon, the Batman story. They that guy steals some eye, gets some special power, takes over Superman, and Wonder Woman's like, let go of Superman's mental mind, let him free. And Maxwell Lord's like, I think she wraps him with the fucking the rope of truth, and is like, you're gonna have to kill me because I'm not gonna let him go, and he's gonna kill you. So she breaks his neck, and it's the first time, literally almost in comic book history, other than Rorschach's death in The Watchmen, that you had a superhero judgment a villain and actually kill him with his bare hands. Wonder Woman, that's the character, but you took Maxwell Lord and turned him into a weird politician.
Well,
you took him and made him a fucking shit villain in the first movie.
Patty Jenkins was like, listen, I'll find someone for her. I'll find something for her, and then you guys are gonna pay me. Okay, that's how this is gonna go. They took one look at that script and said, you gotta be shitting me. Like, we're not doing this again with you.
You know what? That's kind of like, now I kind of feel like the people that the Batwoman or whatever movie they were going to do that they trashed, and people were like, release the Batwoman. Fuck no, I don't want to see that shit. Get out of here.
Why would Zaslav? Listen, I heard somewhere today, I think Grace Randolph suggested it, that Zaslav might just scrap all these movies. Like,
yeah, fuck yeah, dude. What are they
the rest of them? Aquaman is gone. Even the Flash. Even the Flash, Wonder Woman's gone, obviously, but even the Flash, because
they're taking out Wonder Woman and Superman
because of the insurance they're gonna get from scrapping the movies. Like, if they scrap all the movies that they have slated right now, it's gonna put them upwards over $1 billion.
Well, actually, I heard that the reason why they're trying to cut loose all of these people is because most of the actors that are part of the Snyderverse are all top dollar actors, minus Ezra Miller, who's a fucking weirdo.
But I heard that the reason why they scrapped those lower tier movies is because they were scared, or they didn't have to worry about any one of those actors suing them.
Well, I heard they're 40 billion in the hole.
Well, that's where Brian's saying with the insurance comes. The same way that when I run conventions, when I run events, we have event insurance. In case I have to scrap this project, the insurance that I've paid to cover the show will pay me out more than, in theory, what I would get in ticket sales.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get a loss no matter what. So I'm going to need that extra revenue to redo flights, to pay out whatever guarantees I'm stuck with. And that's what you're seeing with the insurance here. They're going to like, okay, crap, we're going to get rid of whatever we're going to get rid of and then earn back profit.
Thank you, Music Biz Marty. Man, good to see you. Thank you for jumping in the comments. Yes, we are using StreamYard. It is a service that helps us multi-stream on different platforms. We primarily are on Facebook. Also, we do Twitch and YouTube, which you're seeing us on. So thanks for jumping in. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much.
So Grace suggested that it is on the table for them to scrap all of the movies, because that would actually gain Zaslav a lot of fucking money if he just scrapped everything. Because you gotta think about it. I don't know if any of those movies combined is going to make you $1 billion, to be honest with you. The way that it is.
With the projects that are in their state now, no, there's no way. Even watching a dumpster fire like Ezra Miller, there's no way.
Do you understand? Like, there could be a possibility that we're watching the Flash movie and then we see Gal Gadot, and we're all at the same time, we're all going to be thinking, "Oh yeah, she got fired." Like we're watching this, but she's fired. Like I'm watching someone that's been fired, and we're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like that's a weird fucking thing to do.
No, but you know what I also heard? This is kind of like, I'll jump on other people's videos of information and news drop and stuff like that. And there's one guy, I forgot his page though. It's something with a W. It's like War Stew or Winston or something like that. He was saying that because of the situation that happened with, Black Adam, some of the other stuff that they've dropped, that they haven't made the funds. And the reason why they're cutting all these films is because they are in the whole $40 billion. That the company is literally like they owe money to make it work. And the reason why they brought in James Gunn and this guy to fix everything and go with new actors is because new actors, younger guys, do not charge the millions of dollars that these guys like Henry Cavill and all these other guys charge, because they're huge actors.
Yeah, but how does
the reason
that,
why they're going new and they're only concentrating on 3 is because Superman, they're going to push on Superman more, because Superman is like that ideal character that everyone knows. He's like the Iron Man. Same thing with Batman. Wonder Woman, not so much, but everyone knows her because of the movies more now. But the thing is they're trying to play it safe with the money, because this is the last part that Warner Brothers is going to deal with it before it trashes the whole comic book line. Before it's like, yo, we're done with
this shit is, listen, we're having this conversation and we haven't even gotten to the James Gunn shit. Yeah. I think this shit is already done as is. I think Zaslav is really just like playing a game right now. He has the full intentions of selling the shit within within the near future. And this is all for nothing.
The average boys talk. I literally have sat on this chair for like a year and a half, 2 years. I don't even know how long we've been up. But like in the very beginning, I was like, you watch, DC's gonna sell out and Disney's gonna buy their ass and own Marvel and DC. You watch.
I don't know. I don't think I mean DC specifically. I mean Discovery Warner, like the Discovery Warner Brothers shit. He's gonna try to sell that shit again.
Oh yeah.
Like, but the problem is like most of these sectors aren't making any fucking money. So to your point, how I don't understand how that works. Like how that makes sense. Like how is it that I can understand if you were like a few billion in the hole, but when you're down that much money. Yeah. There's no man alive that can figure out how to fix that.
How to save that shit.
So how to save that. What we're looking at is a corporate business development strategy. This is a marketing turnaround to price something to sell. So what my theory is, James Gunn's been brought in to trim down the fat, get rid of all the junk that they can't afford, that will make no money in the theaters, and make it look pretty. So when Warner Brothers goes at the end of the tax year and claims a fat ass loss and probably claims bankruptcy, the $40 billion vanishes. It's forgiven. They're going to get bailed the hell out because the entertainment business has those bailouts currently in place.
Yeah, for
the last administration, and it's
okay.
carried over.
All right, but let me pose this to you. So then that's a very dangerous thing to do because you have investors. This is a publicly traded company. So when you go bankrupt, that's not fucking good at all.
You try to sell as high as you can, though. And they just sell. Warner Brothers then cuts the fat, and it's a whole DC.
The investors don't want that. They're not going to hear that. I know that's what you and I. Listen, you and I, the common people, would be like, okay, yeah, try to figure this shit out and find out as quickly as possible. But that's not how they operate over there. They're not going to want to hear that shit. Like, there's going to be ramifications if you go bankrupt and you don't tell, us, and it's just like some shit that comes out of nowhere.
Dudes are going to lose their jobs. People will end up in lakes and shit.
Yeah, you're looking at something called a calculated loss for a project like this. So they'll get bankrupt and they'll get their incentive to try again. So the debt will be forgiven, and for investors upfront immediately, they will take a hit. The stock option will drop.
Yeah, but they're going to get more assets from that company when it gets
Discovery Plus, and you'll see it happen. Discovery Plus will do something called a stock buyback option, where they're going to tell investors, okay, so you lost money now, you can stick here, and we will double value the stock you have in place.
Yeah, or we'll renew everything and do it right.
We'll give you cash from the incentive we gave. We'll buy you out, and you can leave.
That's risky. That's risky, especially. I'm not talking about from the investors. I'm talking about from Zaslav's perspective. If he goes down that road, if he chooses to go down that path, that could be like a career change.
Yeah, everything's on the line right now
for you.
Yeah, everything's on the line. Look, they just brought James Gunn in. Look what James Gunn just did. Look at all the. I mean, look at how crazy it was when Zaslav came in and cut all that shit like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Remember how much of a that was big and that was crazy as shit.
But the reason, but again, I wanted to say the reason why you felt so comfortable doing those specific movies, even though they were done, is because these actors that are in it, they weren't going to combat him, they weren't going to sue him, they were just going to go away and take whatever little bit of money. Now, if you do that to like
Henry Cavill,
if you do that to like Henry Cavill or something, he's
gonna make a Twitter post.
You're gonna have an issue if there's a super movie that's done, and then James Gunn comes in and fires him. He is going to sue you.
Ben Affleck, man. That's literally, it already happened with Ben Affleck. The same thing they're doing to all these characters, the same thing that Ben Affleck did. They approached him, they gave him an opportunity. Henry Cavill walked away a while back. They promised him the idea of this Superman shit that's going on. Now they can't do it because it did not happen because of the shit that The Rock was like, yo, dude, give me a chance. I'm the bread and butter for this. Like, that's just kind of thrown through. And we talked about it too, because we were like, yo, you know, The Rock was up there, you know, making calls and touching people in funny places and, you know, getting shit to happen like no one else could for the DC universe. Change of the guard, or what was he saying in previous advertisements? He's like, guard, man, there's a new guard in town. Or, bro, you didn't even fucking break $20, bro. Get the fuck
That's
out
embarrassing,
of
here. Yeah, that's embarrassing.
But that's really embarrassing. That's the thing. It's The Rock. Like, we have
and The Rock doesn't get embarrassed like that. Yeah, he's not used to getting embarrassed like that, dude.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. He took a risk. And that's the same thing. That's all we're seeing is a lot of people taking risks because it's a sinking ship. A lot of these dudes are like, DC universe is failing dramatically. I mean, right now, if you released an animated film, it would probably do better than the live action films. You know what I mean? But it's a sinking ship, and everybody's got an idea. Everyone's like, I know how to fix the hole. It went so low, they were about to give that position to The Rock, dude.
I'm so fucking a James Gunn fan right now, bro. He is big dicking this shit the whole way, and I'm a big fucking fan of that shit, bro.
And honestly, it's the way you have to do it. Coming from a position where I've had to cancel projects, and we were in full force running.
You just do it.
Yeah, you
do
have
it,
to.
bro.
It hurts, and like to look at someone saying, hey, "I'm sorry," and we don't have
the entrepreneur bone, man.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna screw you long. It's gonna screw you in the long run if you pussyfoot around it and try to be. You try to play the fence and you try to play the politics and you try to, you know what I'm saying, just be nice about it. Sometimes you just gotta, because you gotta think about it. But below the Star Wars fandom, you got the fucking DC fandom. They're right underneath all the toxicity. So you can't play nice with them. You're just gonna have to be very direct and like, hey guys, I know you guys loved Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck.
And it is what it is. Those guys did good. They're actors. They're supposed to do that. That's the thing. They're supposed to do that. But people are out here saying, "Oh man, Henry Cavill's done. He's out. Fuck DC. Fuck this. He was the best." And it's like, dude, same people were talking about the guy in the Lois and Clark show, the one that just came out recently. Everyone was saying his fucking Superman was awesome. You know, they're gonna redo it and do it fine. They fucking brought back that dude in the Arrowverse to be the fucking Superman again. If they brought that dude back, they'll bring back Henry Cavill in a future film when they're doing Crisis. I guarantee it. I motherfucking guarantee it that Henry Cavill's going to come back and don the suit. He's not dead. That's like I was telling people. He's not dead.
Mike, we're getting a little bit right now of how Chris feels about the whole Henry Cavill thing. Let me ask you, sir, how do you feel about how this is all playing out from the Henry Cavill's perspective? Like, do you think he was treated fairly? Do you think he was kind of like snubbed? Should there be a level of embarrassment here? Like, what's your feeling here?
So from a joking standpoint, I'm really excited to get more Enola Holmes.
I love it.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna let you finish.
Honestly, I don't think
West. Come on, Taylor Swift. Don't cut him off. Leave him alone.
My fault. He just brought up a great thing.
Yeah, I don't think Cavill was snubbed. I do think The Rock talked far more shit than he should have.
He promised, man.
Yeah, he promised a lot of things that he didn't have the fuel to launch. He just didn't. So Cavill, he left The Witcher. He lost that opportunity. He tried for Superman again. They dumped him. James Gunn went and defended him, saying, "I don't hate Cavill. We just parted amicably. We'll work together in the future later." He said all the proper things, but Cavill's a land on his fucking feet. We just saw it happen like today. The news is going nuts about his next damn project, which we'll get.
And we're gonna talk about that too. So
yeah, but Cavill was not disrespected. If he was, that man would have talked some shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't. My sympathy level for him at first it was high, but then it started dissipating day by day. Mm-hmm. This guy had a job. He had a gig, bro. He was perfectly fine over at Netflix on The Witcher, minding his own fucking business. Yeah. For whatever reason, Mike says that it's some creative differences. Yeah, I think it's a money thing. I think that he asked for an absurd amount of money and he knew they were going to fucking give it to him, so he walked, thinking that he had this opportunity back here at Warner Brothers if he needed it to be so, because that's what they told him. But then you think, and this is where me and Chris keep having arguments, is because Chris thinks that it's so easy for him to find another gig. Yes, he does have a new gig right now, but I want to know how many other opportunities he plans on having in the future when he keeps doing this. Now, he just, Mike, let me ask you, he just left The Witcher, right? Or he got fired from The Witcher, right? Who makes The Witcher?
Well, it's Netflix producing it, yeah.
Yes. You also brought up another IP that he's a part of, which is
Enola Holmes, yeah, on Netflix.
Which is produced by
Netflix, yeah.
So he doesn't have that anymore, Mike. Let me break that news to you, right? he just screwed himself because they were leaning in a direction for a spinoff for Sherlock Holmes. And now I don't know if he has that anymore by the way that he conducted himself with The Witcher. And this is leading all into the narrative that people can't stand fucking Henry Cavill. Which leads me to Chris's point in that he has so many hot. I don't think so.
He's a hot commodity, man.
I don't think he's a hot commodity to executives, maybe to fans, maybe to the small niche Justice League fans that love him to death, which I get. But to the executives at Hollywood, they can't stand him.
The Witcher, and this, I'll die on this stone saying this. The Witcher would not have had so much popularity if it did not have Henry Cavill. It would have just been the people who read the books and played the second game or the third game, not even the first one, because the first one was really rough.
And again,
second game, yeah.
It would have
been that small.
It's still a
niche. It became an international movie and something accepted worldwide, where people were like, "Fuck yeah, I love The Witcher," because of Henry Cavill. Now I want to see if they're going to have the same numbers when he leaves. Because Liam Hemsworth is not going to bring that number. Michelle Yeoh, I love her, but she's not going to bring that. The reason
Superman is the only movie that guy made that reached global. No, that reached a global mass.
Dude, he was in
The Witcher,
Mission Impossible, and no one was watching Mission Impossible movies that much.
They did not watch the fucking. No one watched fucking Mission Impossible for Henry Cavill. Stop. I was
done after.
I'm gonna stick with Brian here. Mission Impossible is a Tom Cruise project.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Why do you think they make so many?
That sucker since 1990s.
Yeah, get out of here. I'm not listening to that. No one watches that for fucking Henry Cavill.
What's the last Mission Impossible movie you saw?
I don't watch him at all. I watched like the first one.
International that everybody's clamming just because it's Tom Cruise.
What I'm saying is the only worldwide movie or franchise that he's part of is Superman. No one else. Everything else is a niche group. That's it.
That's when he got his superstardom, right?
He does not have the metrics. He doesn't have the metrics that garners the hot commodity that you just called him. He doesn't have the metrics. He doesn't make any money for these people in the fucking box office. They went out. The Rock went out and got Henry Cavill, thinking that was going to save his fucking movie, and it's still tanked.
You see, and I have to give it to Brian on two parts here, Chris, because from a brand perspective, you are right, Chris, that you see that Henry Cavill carries a brand because he has the pretty face.
And you're a fan. And you're a fan.
And you're a fan of it. From a marketing and budgetary standpoint, for the numbers he's bringing in, I can't quantify.
You
paying him
can't.
the salary
There's no
he wants.
metric. There's no metric to it. There's no metric that he garners $10 million from The Witcher. If I were the producers or the people on The Witcher, I'd tell them to go take a hike too. And now because you're playing hardball this way, now this Sherlock Holmes shit you thought you had over here is gone too.
Well, we don't know if it's gone because they haven't said if they're not.
I know,
but you know what? They just released it, and it's good too. That's an original story coming out of Netflix that they've created all on their own. And
I would just think the way that he left, he always he has this thing where he's a diva, dude. He's a diva, and he just makes a stink wherever he goes. It just seems that way.
But in the process of it too, like I was saying, Enola Holmes is a Netflix original piece done by the producers and directors and writers of Netflix, where you're looking at The Witcher that has an IP that follows a certain book and all this other stuff. And Henry Cavill said that he was leaving because they deviated away from the book too much and he didn't care for it anymore.
So I'm going to call it.
They wanted him to come back to something he didn't believe in. He's going to charge him.
Bullshit. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of everyone falling for the fact that, oh, I'm so in tune with the fucking source material. No, he's fucking not. Maybe he is Marvel. A little bit. Maybe he fucking
Marvel literally came out and apologized for an entire phase.
Under no circumstance, from the reputation that Henry Cavill has, am I going to believe that the reason why he's not on The Witcher is because it didn't stick true to the source material? Get the fuck out of here. It's because they didn't give him the $10 million that he asked for that he didn't fucking deserve.
Yeah,
Let's call it spade a spade.
Let me interrupt and tell you guys what we're forgetting about that's going to save Enola Holmes and Cavill's participation in this. Because somebody in there does have the Netflix star power to say, if you do not do what I want, I'm not going to do it. And that's Millie Bobby Brown. With her power from Stranger Things alone, just the amount of money they make off her being 11. If she says, I want Cavill back, they're going to bring Cavill back.
Actually, that didn't work out because Henry Cavill did not allow her to hang out with him.
He's the prick.
He purposely made that. So she couldn't because she wanted to go in.
But that is
no one likes him.
Yeah, that's a personal thing compared to a dollars thing. And she knows that his Sherlock does good with her storyline.
Yes.
Yeah, so
what was
she's
the issue?
Want that back.
What was the issue with Henry Cavill and DC to begin with? What was the issue?
I don't even remember what the original part is. They cut him.
The only problem that I could find was money.
Really? Shit.
Money talks.
It was money. This man is a money-driven guy, and Chris is over here telling me it's because because the creators didn't stick to the source material. Get out of here, bro. It's because they didn't pay him as much as his diva ass thought that he was worth. It's a money thing. Him and what's his manager, The Rock's wife?
Oh yeah, and she represents him too, doesn't he?
They're all about money, dude. That's all this is about, is fucking money.
Let's go. I wanted to see. I don't know why they let him go the first time. Like I didn't remember. I can't remember.
They couldn't come to a deal. They couldn't come to a deal. They couldn't come to a deal, and they couldn't come to the terms of a deal. So he held out.
Yeah,
he
and
said,
honestly,
"All right."
The timeline makes sense for when DC and Warner started having the financial situation. They lost their asses. You know, they re-released the Snyder cuts, and all 4 hours of that came, and they made pretty much no money on it because they had to dump it on every stream service. There were no one going to theaters really to see it. So it costs money to make that, and there's no money to give him.
There's no money.
Yeah, you guys keep on going on it, man. I literally want to know why he left the first time.
You know, honestly, with Cavill,
it's so because I do remember that. I just can't remember what it was.
I'm excited to see what Cavill does with his next project because he is the biggest nerd for that type of stuff. But with Superman is like, and Cavill did a great. Whoever wrote the PR statement for him wrote it beautifully. Shit, if he did it himself, guys.
And I like him. I like him as Superman too.
Yeah, he said it best that Superman is a symbol. It's an ideal that character does not leave. A piece of Superman is in every fan. And we're going to get somebody else that's going to hold up that ideal. And it's going to be a new actor. We're going to get somebody younger. The property will continue on. We lose nothing really on it.
What did you think? What did you think when you read that, Mike?
Oh, that whoever the hell wrote it, I want to shake their hand. That was a beautiful public relations statement. I was like, I picked the points out in that fucking statement. Okay, this is from chapter 2 of the book. This is a rehash of the original concept. And I know it's a masterclass.
I saw that and I said, this has got to be a joke. Like, I like it. It's classy, but he didn't mean that. You can't tell me.
I'm telling you, he did not write it.
I know that, but I'm talking about from his psyche, I guess, if you will. Yeah. You can't tell me that I left my little cozy spot over here at The Witcher thinking I was gonna have a job over here, and then I put out a statement like that and actually mean it. No, he's pissed, bro. He's pissed. The Rock's pissed. Fucking Patty Jenkins is pissed. Gal Gadot's she's probably pissed too.
And she's been the most quietest person out of all this debauchery, dude.
But she put out a statement too. She put out a statement like basically, she showed grace as well too. Like, it's been, I had a great time being Wonder Woman, blah blah blah. But like, this is, all of them are probably pissed. We still haven't heard from The Rock yet. Like, he's that mad. Like, he hasn't said a goddamn word yet. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Like, this is like. Everyone's pissed over there.
Like, you smell the Rock, the cooking levels of anger that coming out of that man, but nothing.
Like, yeah. And I think it's probably for the best that he doesn't say anything, because I think that it could be an emotional thing for him, and he could say some wild shit. So I don't want him to say anything right now. So it's good that he's taking some time just to chill,
just to let it sink in, and
just let it sink in. Yeah.
It's one of those things. I'm going to probably have to research this because I really want to get to the idea of what made him leave or not leave, because he was let go the first time. And then he said, or actually, I think he left and he was like, I'm going to take some time off and do my own thing. I think it was one of those like actors moments where he's like, well, maybe
Chris wants to get the reason tattooed on his chest, so he has it on his heart the entire time. And,
I just know that Danny Garcia, and this is the entire time that he had been away. Danny Garcia, The Rock's ex-wife, was behind the scenes trying to negotiate a new term with Warner Brothers. They just could not come to the terms because Henry Cavill, again, is a diva. That's where Hamada started growing his hatred for Henry Cavill. They wanted him back. He just was being very difficult because in his head, he is the one. It's not Ben Affleck. It's not Gal Gadot. It's me. I'm going to get all the money. It's going to be me that brings the people into this movies. He has this delusion, probably because of people like you, Chris, that thinks that he's a lot bigger of a fucking star than he actually is. He's not that big of a star, dude.
I mean, even with the 25 minutes or not even the 15 seconds or 25 seconds he got in the Black Adam movie, that was the most talked about moment throughout the entire Black Adam film.
I mean, come on, bro. Like, that's a cheap shot. Like who cares?
I mean, that's not a cheap shot.
It's fucking Henry Cavill showing. We haven't seen him don the Superman costume in years, basically, it feels like. You know what I'm saying? True. And so, of course, that's going to steal the headlines, which I think could have backfired on The Rock, by the way. But he's lucky that the movie just sucked anyway. But honestly,
he's a bigger star than The Rock, right?
But I don't know about that.
So you're gonna say
no, he's not. What are you talking about? No, he's not a bigger star than The Rock. The Rock is the highest.
I don't know. I'm not a big.
The Rock is the highest paid actor in Hollywood. What are we talking about?
Yeah, he's the highest paid actor, the highest paid wrestler, currently one of the highest paid voice actors because of Super Pets and everything else.
And this guy Henry Cavill was hanging out with them, thinking that he's the fucking Rock in there, and all these executives like, get out of here, bro. You're
just
not
these guys that think they're bigger than all this shit, and they're really not.
No, it's just Henry Cavill.
The Rock hasn't said much, man. No, The Rock has not said much from his situation, man.
No, The Rock is that guy. He is that deal. He will generate some money. He will make someone some fucking money. Maybe not this movie, but he'll generate some money somehow. Henry Cavill can't do that.
Look at the Fast and Furious franchise. They took a car to the fucking moon, and that piece of shit franchise.
I don't even know what happened in that film.
The Rock has a spinoff in that damn thing, and that spinoff made a crap ton of money.
Definitely.
Did it really? I don't even know about what was the second one about?
The Hobbs, the Shaw and Hobbs.
So they made a.
He'll make you some money, bro. He'll make you. Yeah,
he's a dude that when you have the extra cash and you want to make some film, like he'll flip it. He's the film flipper, man. That's what I call him.
Henry Cavill, though,
I don't know, man. It's just one of those things.
No, man.
So you're telling me that
at this point, Chris has open wounds, and you're just like pouring lemon.
No, yeah, bro. It's not really open wounds. I'm speaking from where I see it, and what I see right now.
I love it. I love it.
What I'm seeing right now is Henry Cavill's in a different position from a lot of us.
Okay.
He made the popularity of The Witcher for the Netflix series. Name one other actor that comes out in that you remember by name from the Witcher series.
But again, all right, again, these are like points that are like, I don't want to say redundant, but they're just
redundant.
like,
there's nothing
but
redundant about it.
But
We're
but
talking
again,
about the form of entertainment.
No, it's not about the form of entertainment. We are only going to watch The Watcher because yes, Henry Cavill is Superman is the lead actor, bro.
Oh, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, I love you, honey. That was amazing. He was able to make a Scorpion King movie.
So The Rock is instantly better than Henry. My favorite scene is when the villain comes out and goes, "No!" in the corner, dude, like a theater part. That shot was so bad, dude.
And
I
gotta give it to
Elizabeth, it was so
because
good.
The Rock made a feature movie off of Scorpion King that was a PS1 grade CGI.
Yeah, it was really bad.
PlayStation.
It was really
scenes,
bad,
dude.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It was even bad. It was even bad for then. Like even for this time, it was still bad. It
was not good. That was not good.
No, but like, have you seen Brendan Fraser talk about it when he does conventions? He's like, "Yeah, it was real bad. We try to take him serious, but it was really bad."
All I'm saying is, Henry Cavill was the main thing that a lot of people were asking to come back. Of course, they were doing it for Ben Affleck too, for the Batman series, right? For the Justice League or whatever. The Witcher, he walks away from The Witcher, right? What was the other one that he walked away from that you were saying? He walked away from.
He didn't have anything else. It
was. They let him go for Superman, and they didn't let him go because James Gunn literally comes out and says, "I'm gonna do Superman, but we're doing it younger. We can't use Henry Cavill. He's just outaged." But that doesn't, and he says it himself. But I am writing scripts that we're going to come back to this. Superman, Henry Cavill is not done with Superman.
Even that statement is kind of like backhanded. We're not gonna. He's too old. You know what, Henry Cavill, you're too old. We can't use you.
But that's because we agreed earlier that Snyder had went into this and just aged everybody up because he was going past the idea of being like, "Why don't I want to do an origin story? I want to do an origin story." I mean, isn't that correct? The Justice League movies, like that's what he did. Even Batman is already aged out.
But this is the problem, Chris. Right? The issue is this: just in October, the man Cavill sat in front of a phone and made the announcement that he's coming back as Superman. Why they would do that or allow him to do that, if that wasn't the case, is the issue here. It's just the discombobulation of everything that's happening behind the scenes, bro. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Now what you're doing is all these people that are like you that just love Henry Cavill and want him to be back as Superman and shit.
I don't want to be back as Superman. Fuck that. Don't come back.
Or just want him in general or the Snyderverse or whatever the fuck. I
talked about them releasing all of these dudes.
They're pissed now. They're pissed now because now they feel like they've been lied to, and it's embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing for Henry Cavill.
No, for me, it's one of those things. I didn't want Henry Cavill to come out in Black Adam. In fact, I didn't want Black Adam. I don't want any of this shit. The Snyder Cut was a failure from the beginning. When Joss Whedon had to come out and release all that stuff and give us an image, it's like we've said before. How can you go and say, "Hey, you know what? Someone kind of already released my masterpiece." But I'm going to show you what my masterpiece was supposed to look like. We already know what it looks like. We know the end of the story. There wasn't that Snyder was going to bring us in the 4-hour cut that was going to make it any better or different. There wasn't. And so that he wanted to re-spark this invigorating idea, but that whole franchise was done. There was nothing left for it. Superman 1, Man of Steel was okay to mid story. Batman versus Superman was shit. I didn't like it. There was only CG that was good.
I enjoyed it.
But it was 2 stories, 3 stories in one. Trinity, Doomsday, and Batman versus Superman. That's 3 arcs.
It was a mess, but I liked it. I don't know. For some reason. It was a mess.
Okay, we can agree that it's messy. So we can agree that with that mess, that those movies were rushed, and Superman wasn't getting the story he deserved as a character. Neither was, Batman got a lot more love, I would feel like, because he looked cooler throughout it.
The curse with Superman as a story function is the same curse we have with video games. How the hell are you going to make a story of a man that cannot be beaten make sense to people that need to connect to that character?
Doomsday. The whole arc of Doomsday.
But we've seen Doomsday, I don't know how many damn times. They kill Superman and he comes back.
But the animated series of Doomsday was probably one of the best DC animated movies ever.
Yeah, and no one's saying DC animation isn't
which
good.
is the
DC
same thing like Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Planet Hulk, they released an animated series. People want to see it in live. I don't know why. They want to see it in live action. I just don't believe in the live. I don't believe in the live action quality compared to the animated series. But the thing is Superman's story has been told origins wise. Superman as a person, as a character, hasn't been fulfilled yet.
Well, then that's the point. We don't need another Superman movie. We need a Clark Kent movie. Like there's this.
But that was Christopher Reeves.
There's this Tumblr thread that my wife shows me quite a bit on some guy saying, I really wish there was a Clark Kent movie where the CIA says, you found too much out as a journalist, so they keep trying to kill Clark Kent. But for some reason, the sniper can't get the damn shot to go off and never hits it. Or the bomb never goes off, or Superman shows up and saves the damn day, and they can't kill Clark Kent. And that's the kind of slapstick comedy we used to see with like Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves Superman.
All over himself.
Because you had Christopher Reeves Superman, which was the nutty, funny, kind of like family-oriented Superman. Nobody really cared for the one when he fought like that weird sun god guy. Like that's when it kind of lost its flavor because they didn't know what to do.
Atomic Man or something.
Yeah, it was before Doomsday.
It was Nuclear Man, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of all the Supermen that are out there, that was the one I watched the most. I've seen that one. I've seen that one probably more than the rest of them.
But that's because his life was more in stake because he had someone that could rival him in power. You know what I mean? But
that was one that Lois died, right? She died and he had to spin around.
Yes, the fucking silliness. Yeah, that's the one. And then you had Brandon Routh's Superman, right? Brandon Routh's Superman was weird as fuck. Came to Earth. He had, the part one, I think like he ended up like hooking up with her and then he leaves and makes her forget. And then she has a baby that she had a Jesus birth in that movie. I don't know if anybody ever realized that she had a Jesus birth. She did not have any memory of dating Superman and she just had a baby out of nowhere. And that baby can push pianos.
It's kind of rapey sounds a little bit, but anyway, whatever.
And then he leaves for 8 years? No, 5 years. He leaves for 5 years, and everyone's like, "Oh man, Superman left for 5 years," and then comes back, and it's like, "Whoa, Superman's back!" And then fucking Clark Kent comes back, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I've been gone for 5 years. Everybody, like, can I get my job back as Clark Kent?" It was a silly fucking movie, and no one cared, man. No one cared.
Some of the deep cuts. I remember Richard Pryor was.
That's number 2, right? Superman 2.
And then you get Henry Cavill's Superman. That's like Superman working in a bar, slamming 18-wheelers into poles. Dad dies in a tornado because the dad's like, no, don't come for me. You could probably run behind a car when the tornado comes and save my life. But he's like, nah, dude, I got it. Don't worry. I got to save this dog. And then later on, he fucking goes into the mountains and runs into his dad making snow cones or whatever the fuck he's doing on the top of a mountain hill. And he never even makes a Fortress of Solitude. We never had a Superman with a Fortress of Solitude in an origin story. This story was like so weird to me. Super weird. It was almost like the story was only based on Jesus on Superman being Jesus. Like he just wandered across.
That's my gripe with Superman as a character.
Yes, Watch it.
He's just this unbeatable,
be careful,
undescribable thing. Like, man, no.
The fan base is nuts, bro. You already know
Superman.
This.
Yo, watch it. Superman is OP, man. He's the
OG. I have certain proclivities to comic book.
I got it.
But straight. You take Superman and you create the Doomsday arc. You bring him in the first one, you make his origin, and you bring in a Lex Luthor who finds this fucking space alien that's a dickhead. And he's part of little teams here and there. He's like a Hulk. And then later on, he fucking loses his costume and he just starts fucking things up in the second movie to where the third movie is Doomsday. They literally did this and they brought him back in Justice League. And you brought back him in Justice League and he was a bigger dick Superman. He just changed from mopey, sad Superman that I got to save Lois Lane and kill everyone in the process while I save her. Because there's no way that fucking terrorist dude in the first movie that he slams through the wall survives. No fucking way. No earthly idea. You have him having problems with Lex Luthor Jr., who, again, shit writing. Just bring us Lex Luthor. Why did you bring us a junior? That makes no sense. And then you end up doing the Doomsday story all the way to Justice League, and you've ruined the idea of them doing Doomsday. which is a Justice League movie or story itself. Doomsday tanks the entire Justice League. In the comic books, he starts everybody. No one's safe. Batman tries to run away. Batman's in the worst predicament because Batman does not have any superpowers. And Doomsday's like, come here, girl, I'm after them cheeks. Like, and Batman's just running. He knows he's not even in the right place.
Yeah, the animated film did it great, where they show
it was super
gets
good.
In his face, he tanks Wonder Woman. The Flash tries to get around Doomsday. He figures him out.
No one touches this dude.
Yeah,
he's a bio weapon that's created simply to destroy. That's the only thing Doomsday does. So and Superman's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna come and just punch this guy down and I'm gonna beat him. And Doomsday's like, not today. And he just whips that ass, whips him. And literally last punch of the story, last punch of the thing, Superman sacrifices himself and kills himself. There is no Batman feels guilty and needs to bring him back.
So I have a question.
Shoot.
And this is specifically for Mike, right?
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh.
I am a huge Marvel fan, right?
Yeah.
I started off as a DC fan, though. So although I love Marvel, my favorite superhero of all time is Superman.
Okay.
Are you a Dragon Ball Z fan, sir?
Oh, here we go. We're gonna need that question.
I am a Dragon Ball Z fan, and I know what you're gonna ask, and it is
coming.
the dumbest question in
All right.
history.
But why
So
though?
even though it is, and I will agree with you, it's pretty dumb. But I like to engage in dumb fucking conversations sometimes, bro.
I will take my hat off for this conversation because we're gonna piss off a lot of people right now. Real quick, can Superman beat Goku, or does Goku beat Superman?
No. That's not the question I was going to ask you. My question I was going to ask you is, can Superman beat Goku, and how fast will he do it?
All right. So, depending, and this is where I get into the fights on this situation.
Prep time.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Depending
Already.
Yeah, depending on which version of Superman we're going with, right?
Okay.
I give it to Superman because Goku has one horrible flaw. He wants his enemies to be at the strongest level they can be, and Superman is
a god.
deity. Yeah, he's a
god.
And although Goku has tanked gods in his universe, he's never fought someone that has the moral compass that Superman has. Superman doesn't kill, but will if it means my universe. Mm-hmm. And Goku's movements at levels where he gets to be as strong as with Ultra Instinct and stuff shatters universes when he throws punches. Superman will not allow that to get to that point. Goku will be dumb and let him supercharge, run into the sun or whatever Supes has to do, and Superman will do it with one punch because it's what's needed. And that's what Superman is as a character, because it's not Superman making that choice at that point. It's Clark Kent. You know, his parents, the Kents, instilled in him that he's the one that has to do things. He has to be the one to save the day because no one else can. If you are there and you're standing your ground, you stand for something and you make sure you don't fall. Goku is an idiot. I love that character. But there's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason I connect to Vegeta far more in Dragon Ball Z than Goku, because Vegeta looks at Goku and says, "You are the strongest dumbass I have ever seen."
He's Thor.
That's hate. That's hate. Yeah. Vegeta's a big ass fucking hater, and that's why I don't like him. He's a hater.
He has drank that haterade like to a T. But it's true. Goku will fuck around and say, "Get as strong as you can and hit me." And Goku, in not even a Super Saiyan 3, is ready to take Superman's punch at full force. Just not. Goku would have to be Ultra Instinct and not get hit by Superman. Like, there's just, it doesn't make sense. Even like as a Marvel Comics and a Thor fan, I have to lean heavily into Thor as a magical character. Superman's body does not handle magic.
Yeah, Superman can't handle that shit.
Yeah, that's how Thor wins, because when it comes face-to-face slobber knocker, I mean, the Justice League and the Avengers comic book crossover showed it, that Supes took Thor in one shot. He launched him across the city.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Avengers got pissed and said, not him. And they go to defend Thor because Thor's important. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
I
that
run
didn't
anime
make any sense to me.
conventions.
Yeah, that didn't make any
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah, I run anime
it's-
conventions and I'm cool with Goku. I love the character. I watched all Dragon Ball Super, but I give it to Superman because of Clark Kent.
Good shit, man.
That was a beautiful answer.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
I wanted you to say something weird so I can argue with you, but I mean, I do think Superman will beat him easily, actually. And I don't think it'll even be close. But I can't even argue with that. You're right,
Dude. I will tell you, I've been thinking about this question since 1995 when Wizard Magazine first published who wins an anime versus comics, and Superman versus Goku came up, and they gave it to Goku, and I was like, bullshit. I was like,
there's just no way.
Yeah, I just finished watching the Frieza arc, and he let Frieza get as strong as Frieza.
As strong as he possibly could.
Frieza killed his friends, and Goku was cool with it. I was like, no.
And so that's my only knock on Goku is that he either allows the villain or the enemy to get to like max power, or he wants him to. And in the way of that, he gets everyone around him killed or badly beaten.
Yeah, he
because
fucks everybody up, dude. He destroyed Planet Namek because of it, man.
Like, he gets everyone around him beat up. And Vegeta, your man Vegeta, is usually the first one to catch the hands.
Oh, yeah,
dude, everyone else gets fucked just to get Goku mad.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Fucking around.
Like, I feel bad for Krillin. Krillin has died. I don't know how many damn
times.
Fuck
Krillin, man.
And people give him so much shit, but Krillin's the strongest human, like the strongest human being in that anime. And they're like,
he's like those dudes that marry pillows in Japan, man. Yeah, he's got the android. He's like,
once they gave Krillin hair, I was like, all right.
This is silly as hell.
I'm done.
When they made him a cop, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'll give it to Elizabeth. If we had a Vegito or Gogeta, it'd be different because Vegeta would be running that body.
Look, the reason why I could disagree a little bit is because of the fact that there's power vamping in the Dragon Ball Z universe. Is people have this a tendency to get stronger when they get madder or whatever. Right? That would be the equivalent to me saying, okay, who wins? And this is just a regular question: the Hulk or Superman?
Yeah, but there's no one in the Dragon Ball Z universe that operates like Superman.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then.
Needs to just get straight angry, from the start. To get pissed, to get that strength. Right?
What about Broly to Superman? Since Broly starts powered already.
I don't think there's anyone in the Dragon Ball Z universe that could be Superman, personally.
Okay.
I don't think Broly will power up quick enough because we are forgetting the moral compass. Superman will do whatever it takes to save his universe. We've seen him do the dark side. He's punched Darkseid into whatever that wall is at the end of the DC universe.
Oh yeah. That's the fifth wall, fourth wall, or whatever.
Yeah, he's stuck entire people there. He's put him in his negative zone or whatever that zone is, the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, Phantom
in his world. Superman gives zero shits when he has to save his world. Yeah. And there's no DBZ character that starts off quick enough in a high enough power level to tank Superman. This is not.
I don't know, man. There's just something weird about it because of the fact of the power thing that they have to do when they scream and they yell and all that shit. You know, you would first have to create a situation where Superman's going to be like, okay, I'm going to take him out in one punch. And then Gohan's going to sit there, or Goku's going to be there and be just a silly motherfucker. And Superman's going to be like, you're kind of funny, man.
I'll fight Elizabeth.
There's no predicament, though.
Elizabeth, I'm going to fight you on this one. I don't think Cell Arc Gohan could do it. Maybe Beast Gohan from the new movie.
Yeah.
But once again,
oh my God.
There's no time to get
that. Mike, did you see the new movie?
That's Brian's favorite, man. Yeah, that's Brian's favorite.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. It's fun popcorn movie.
All right, we're done here. We're done.
That's Brian's favorite.
You wanted another? You want another Cell Arc, or what is it you want?
That movie is literally an abomination. It's an abomination.
Another BoJack movie, man.
It was an insult. I could not believe. I went with like a group of people. There's a group of us nerds that love fucking Dragon Ball Z. We all went, and the people, even the ones that said they liked it, had to force themselves to like it. That movie is horrible, man.
So I give you, it's not the best because fuck, there hasn't been a good Dragon Ball movie in a while. It's not the best. But what I did enjoy about it is that it got us back to the idea that the world can be defended without fucking Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah,
but who the fuck wants to see that though? We've already established that the secondary
wants to see that shit.
They've already done such a bad number on Gohan that who wants to see that, bro?
and maybe it's because I go with the deep cuts. In the Dragon Ball Super lead up to the Tournament of Power that they have, Gohan makes the statement that I'm going to get to a level of power that's different than yours, and he's telling Goku before they have their one-on-one fight.
Okay,
and seeing that come to fruition in the movie,
relevant and some storytelling essence.
But they haven't done it. That's what I'm saying. They haven't done it. They've let that character just die basically, and then you're gonna try to shove a movie in my face where it's him and Piccolo.
But don't get it wrong, Orange Piccolo, sir. That he was a colored pickle at this fucking point.
At that point, when he turned orange, I almost got up and walked out the fucking movie.
Did he absorb someone else?
No, he just transformed. It was like a new version. He just turned orange.
He goes to
that was his version of Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan,
like that. Yeah.
He goes to Dende, and Dende had an ability on Namek that allowed him to unlock the potential of people. And Piccolo's potential had never been unlocked because he fused with Kami in Dragon Ball Z to fight Cell.
Well, he fused with another dude. He fused with Nails. Why does he just keep eating
out of fucking nowhere?
Namekians, man.
Yeah, but that's the Namekian power. They fuse and they get stronger. You're whatever the hell. So to accomplish this new form, his powers released or whatever, his potential is released. And
Kira told me I'm smoking crack, man. That's all I know.
That movie was horrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because a lot of people forget that Piccolo absorbs Nails first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is a Namekian warrior guy, which is pretty cool. He's all right. He's more street. What's up, Piccolo, man? I'll get that ass or whatever. Mm-hmm. Piccolo never merged with. I mean, he didn't hook up with Kami. They were the same guy. They were the same dude, weren't they? He was a part of King Piccolo or whatever.
Yeah,
no.
I could have sworn that's what happened. He spit himself out.
So Kami, the Piccolo we have now, is not the same one that was a part of Piccolo. Kami was King Piccolo separated. And Piccolo we have now isn't King Piccolo. He's like the son. He's the
son. Okay. I just had to get that because I remember some shit and I was like, wait a minute, these guys were together.
Damn it, Chris! The lore I have to go back in my head to get.
I'm telling you, I know some shit, man.
I feel it, Brian. It wasn't the greatest movie, but there are certain things that I.
And then the animation, bro.
Oh,
the 3D stuff. That's from the video
game. What?
Right?
Yeah. I'll give
like
you
that.
The
video game off,
from the
bro.
video game.
Like, what's that?
Is it the same art from the video game?
It looked kind of like the video game, but I didn't come there for that.
Yeah.
I didn't come there for that, bro.
I just thought they were just using the same art from the video game, and they were kind of like, since that's available and it's probably easier for the artist for them to just bone the CG characters and just move them around. I kind of feel like it would probably be the easiest thing for them.
There is a big gripe in that community that the art from Dragon Ball Z was far superior than what we're getting in Super because they're doing that weird CG art mixed thing, and I'm not a fan of it either.
After the Tournament of Power, like the last couple of episodes of the Tournament of Power, dude, like. The animation was phenomenal. If they can get back to that, then they'll be okay.
My favorite scene is when Goku, Frieza, 17 are fighting Jiren. And just the way that's drawn, the music that plays, like, man, I watched it subbed and dubbed, and it's just great.
Dude, and it was building from the part where Master Roshi has a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
It rose all the way from there because he fucking does the same thing to Khalifa. He jumps over her shit, and everyone lost their shit. Just him doing exactly what we all said when we were kids. Like, why does he wait for him to scream? Why doesn't he fucking run around or something? Like, who's waiting for that shit? And Akira Toriyama's like, I got you guys. Check this out. And it was amazing. It was fucking cool. The whole Tournament of Power was great.
He surfed on that shit.
Yeah. It was super solid. But yeah, there's a part of me that's kind of like, you know what? There's a little bit difference when it comes to the DC and the Marvel or in the Goku universe with them, like the power leveling. That's been my only concern is like, okay, well, where do we put a baseline on the power levels of the person? Now, we already know that Superman is just base. Like, he's always at power. He's doing what Spider-Man does.
Go time. It's all that's why he's the man. It's always up.
Chilling.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to power up.
And I will give Superman the win because he doesn't wait. We even saw in Dark Knight Returns, the comic and the animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
He gave zero shits that was Bruce. Yeah. He had an order, he had a job, and he wrecked his shit. Yeah. And so Bruce could take a city's worth of power to do damage to Superman.
Yeah. And not only that, we talk about it too, is when Superman jumps Dick Grayson the first time he dons the Batman suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking jumps his ass and he's like, "You take that shit off. I know you're not Bruce, bitch." Like, yeah, it was wild, man. Yeah, he's wild. Yeah, so
Clark Kent won't let the win. He won't.
That's something that's just like that's like super nerd shit. Like you got to know your shit to be able to defend this story. It's wild.
I hate this conversation because every anime convention, someone's like, "Hey, Mike, who do you think wins?" I was like, "Oh man, guys, we've been over this."
But damn, I didn't want to add on to that. My bad. I just saw Gohan and shit.
I have to ask before because we're gonna get ready to go. It's 11 o'clock. I don't want to stay too late. I know Brian, you got your time. I want to make sure you're getting your rest. Brian, I do. Mike, we talked about this last week. Brian's in Jersey. He's at it's 12 midnight at his house right now as we speak, and I was always pushing for 12 here, and it's 1 over there. And I was like, no, I can't do that to my boy. I can't do that. It doesn't
help that you guys make me answer these questions that we talk and we talk.
I have to ask. Okay, so this is the last part of our subject. So I have to ask, being that Henry Cavill is out of Superman and was let go of The Witcher, what does that leave next? Only the next thing that Henry Cavill has been talking about for years, talking about something that he's passionate about and wants to push forward. And we're talking about Warhammer 40,000. What do we know about the Warhammer series and the idea of it coming as a series? And why do I think it's probably one of the most toxic fucking lore land fan bases on the planet? But yes, Warhammer.
I will preface this with I am 100% a fan of lore. I'm going into my doctorate for mythological studies and folklore, guys. Yeah. But holy shit, Warhammer is too much. There's too much history and
it's fucking bonkers, dude.
They have space elves and dragons and undead and trolls and goblins and mech men that are prisoners and sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mike, let me ask you a question. Why isn't this more publicly known?
So going back to the idea of toxicity, Warhammer has the most toxic fan base I've ever been around in a TTRPG setting, a tabletop role-playing game, okay? So this damn game is hyper niche and super expensive to get into. The models to get this for a case, for example, a buddy of mine was looking to buy a case of 6 dwarves to paint for his Warhammer stuff.
And they're tiny. They're like this big.
Yeah,
dude.
and they're like that minis, big. Yeah, the mini, look, I have a D&D mini here. The minis are about yay big.
Yeah, look, this is a mini figure for me, dude. This
six
Mega Man,
things,
that's normal.
6, Brian, are $400 unpainted.
Unpainted.
Well,
I mean, listen. If I'm paying $400, I'm gonna paint them motherfuckers. Yeah,
you better paint them gold for all I know. God damn.
It's like it better offer a reach around or something after it.
No, but like, all right. So like, I know like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
I've heard of that. I've never played it, but I've heard of it. But I've never heard of Warhammer until today.
Okay, well, first, Brian, when you come down here, I'm going to fix that. We're going to do it.
Okay, so check this out. My reason for this is because if you're not into Warhammer, when you hear from it or go into it to meet other people, they automatically exile you as trash.
Oh shit!
That's how niche this is. If you walk into a war room, which is like any tabletop store or anything, and you're like, oh, what are these little things? They'll look at you and be like,
get out
of here.
Yeah, so the best way I can equate this is in the 80s and something in the 90s also. You remember those huge train sets people used to set up?
Yeah.
And they had all the land and the trees.
It looked like a city, or they do like a cityscape.
Well, that's what fucking Warhammer is. Yeah, they tabletops are terrains. Mm-hmm. You pay $80 to have 60 pine trees there. You have to dump cash, and I mean hard cash, to do this. I don't play Warhammer because I can't afford it. Screw that.
And campaigns.
But why does that sound like that? Doesn't sound like fun to me. Something that you have to spend so much money just to enjoy. Like that doesn't sound like fun.
It's the equivalent of buying Super Bowl tickets. You're not gonna do this because it's immediately fun. You're gonna get a payoff after you win something.
How many people do you know right now off of the whim that are into like a Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon card game? And you could probably say, hey, well, you know what? I know a couple. That's a weird niche too. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, during that time, you were, as a nerd, an introvert person, those are the things you were into.
I don't mind it. I don't think that it's weird. I think that the weird part is that it's so expensive to get into. Like, why the fuck would it be so damn expensive?
It's the elitist standing of the fan base. And George brings up a good point here. So he's saying my shop is trying to pick a Warhammer. We already have a distributor to pick it up.
Yep.
And that's the problem with this fan base.
It's been around
money.
since the 80s.
Yeah, it costs money to sell this fucking game. You have to find the proper distributor that's willing to give you the product, that knows you can move the product.
Wait. Explain that to me. So I'm thinking it's just like like something you could just make at your house. Like, how do you get the game?
You have to find a store that sells the guidebooks, that sells the figures, that will teach you the rules, that'll let you play there so you can qualify for tournaments.
What? It's huge, a lot of work, bro.
Like I messed around and tried to do a Warhammer mini convention to have national tournaments.
It's fucking.
Oh, crazy. that sounds like you were bugging at that point. Sounds like you were bugging.
For me to do this, when we did the feasibility study to see if I could actually do this event, it was going to cost me $80,000 to start this event, Brian. After I got the numbers, like, nope, fuck Warhammer. I'm sure it's great. I can't do this.
You were throwing around numbers for four or six figurines, and you thought you were going to put on a whole damn fucking.
Yeah, no, dude.
So think of it this way: the reason why the story is called Warhammer 40G or 40K or whatever
40K,
is it's 40,000 millennial in the future. Coming from right now, it's all of that. So it's got a million years, more than a million years of lore in the storyline itself. And we're talking in the 30th millennial, which is called M30, is when you finally get the story of just the Space Marines. And the Space Marines are the most popular part of the story.
Yeah, those big blue when they bring the Emperor
Imperium. Yeah, when they bring him Imperium, which is this big Emperor guy. But the thing is like in one section of a millennial, there's 50 books. Okay. There's 50 fucking books to 1 millennial, and there's 40 fucking millennial. Like it's
I gotta tip my hat to you guys. I don't know if I have the bandwidth.
Yeah, no, I totally. You know what this is like? Warhammer 40K reminds me of when you're looking at Google Maps and you're looking at the world and you're like, oh, my house is right here, and you zoom it in and you're like, oh, let me move my finger a little bit more. You zoom it in and you're like, wait, I was off. You zoom it in, you're in San Antonio, and you got to go down lower. You're just like you cannot fathom how big it is just from one spot.
I would get frustrated. That's how I have patience, but for something that because you got to retain all that shit, and if it's as toxic as you say that it is, you're gonna have to pick that shit up quick, or else you're gonna get like thrown to the wolves and shit like that.
Real quick.
Yeah, so I don't got time.
That's why, like, even with the lure, that's why I said like I've been making comments about it all day on my Facebook, where I'm telling people like I can't wait for people that are like, oh my god, I hope they do War of Heaven or the Heaven of the War or whatever. Like that was a million-year war in the fucking story. Like everyone's gonna start coming out of the woodworks that they're fucking Warhammer fans. But a lot of the times, if you're a Space Marine fan, you're like a new age Gen X millennial kid. Because the story is so much more deeper. Because in the past, it's before when they find the warp, which the warp is like a giant black hole that goes to another dimension. But in that dimension, it has these weird powers that cause like magic abilities. And then it goes into like it's fucking nuts.
Where you get space cells and space dragons and space
it's
whales
so wild.
Jesus.
And there's a huge video game fan base behind it too. They just released a new game. I think it's called like the Dark Progenitors or something like that.
I was looking at it before. There's like Inquisitors or some shit like that. Like there was
the Inquisitors is one of them. So it's the Dark Hawks or something like that. I have the Dark Hawks.
A real world example of what the Empire is. It's space age Catholicism. Space Catholics are out there fucking shit up, and nobody likes them. But they're the strongest empire. So that's the easiest way.
Because the other ones are like the Xenors or the Xenoms or something. I forgot their name. The Xenorps. The Xenorps are kind of like these like demons. Like demon characters. They look like they're aliens, but they call them demons because everything is spiritual, but the spiritual part is magic that is based on like hope and all this stuff, and that's why it ends up being like a Catholicism kind of thing.
Yeah, because the emperor is the pope basically. And
the emperor is kind of like this dude who's one of the precursors to the psychics of human beings that started becoming one with the warp, which was that fucking thing I was telling you from the past. Like they started to breed people to have a part of the warp in them, and millions of years it was all fucking trash. People's heads exploding, people turning into demons, turning into like creatures from Dead Space practically, because they were trying to like morph the warp into humans. And then when they morphed them, their brains became portals and gateways, and demons would come through their brains if they weren't strong enough or whatever.
Yeah,
Brian, lo and behold, the Emperor pops up and he's like the perfect being. So then from there, he starts I think he creates like 22 generals. And from those 22 generals, there's like an attack. The 22 general bodies, the babies get shot into space. Then those create the 22 regions because they're super generals, kind of like him, but not as strong. But they all kind of, it's wild. That's what it is.
I'm online right now looking up some of the just the action figures.
Big enough to hold all that lore, dude.
Just the action figures, which they do look.
They're beautiful. Dude.
They look great.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. But I'm not paying fucking $70 for an action figure.
These guys got like 3 hearts, 4 lungs. Like they're just meant for just destruction. They're meant for destruction.
This looks wild. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you, Brian, that you will have an easier time figuring out fucking
quantum
physics in real life. Creating time travel in our real world and getting all this horseshit.
And it's crazy because
when we were off screen, that I went to go pick up a horror book at Barnes & Noble, and there's a green cover and it had a fantasy setting. I was like, okay, I'll read this. This looks badass. And I started reading it. It's like, man, this world feels like there's so much shit that I've missed. Why don't I understand what's happening in this damn book? It was a Warhammer 40K book. Of course I didn't fucking know what was going on. There was years of shit that I had missed.
Oh, dude, there's a book called like Xenos. Yeah, that's one of the Warhammer. It's probably like the best Warhammer book that's out that a lot of people like will put as like the top part. But it's super crazy because even the knowledge I'm telling you that I know off the top of my head is like a 0.001 on the entire lore factor.
Yeah,
there's a website dedicated to all of it, and all the millennials.
Okay, all right, bro. All right, so there's just possible. I get what you're saying, and this all sounds fucking nuts. It sounds dope, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's huge.
But now you're going to tell me that Henry Cavill is going to bring this to life?
So Henry Cavill is more of a new age fan of Warhammer 40K.
Like a space marine.
He's a space marine through and through. So that realm where we're seeing in video games and everything right now is gold to mine because it's action-packed. There's political intrigue. You know, there's a lot of a lot of story to take. And he's the weirdo that can do it because he knows that crap in and out. Think
of the movie Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
The movie 300 and the Star Wars prequels if they had a baby.
A fan over them all.
That's literally Warhammer the Emperor part, which is if you guys want to look it up, it's like M30. That's when we kind of get into the Empire and all the Imperium and all that other stuff.
I'm going to recommend don't look it up and just let Henry Cavill tell you the story.
Just find a video of some dude on YouTube explaining that.
I was going to say, I don't want my head to explode just trying to follow something, dude. I'd rather Henry Cavill do it.
No, because you know what? Like, it does really have some really fun lore in it, which is like, my guess is if Henry Cavill's going to go through with this and push on it, he's probably going to push off of the Imperium line, which is that M30. He's not going to go all the way to the past, but you have an IP, another franchise that's just as rich as Star Wars, as dark as Aliens, and as action-packed, like I said, as 300. Like, that's pretty much what Zack Snyder's trying to do with Moon, whatever the fuck that he's trying to do. He's trying to make something that doesn't have an official IP behind it. But the thing is like I said, like, even with what I'm telling you, having this knowledge, they can go at anything. And I would have any idea on how they approach it. Like, it doesn't have that kind of lore. It doesn't have the approachability as like, if you got to be super invested. And they're probably going to do like what me and Mike were talking about off camera, what they did with Star Wars Legends, which is where they're going to probably remove a lot of the Redcon essence to bring in this TV franchise. And then to know that you can go up to Henry Cavill as a dude in an interview and be like, well, what's your favorite class? And him be like, oh, dude, the Imperium Mark or whatever he says, the Gandalf or whatever. Like, he names that shit. You're kind of like, oh, fuck, this guy knows his shit. Even to where the interviewer guy was like, oh, fuck, I don't even know what you're talking about. My friend told me to ask you. Like, please don't. And he's like, oh, I got to meet your friend or whatever. Like, I should ask your friend. Or like, dude, can you imagine Henry Cavill? Like, imagine, you know, you ask me to tell an actor something, and that guy's like,
careful now, Chris's erection is showing at this point.
Dude, my nerd erection.
He's off and running.
And we were just talking about this last week to where Marvel is like, yo, we're firing and letting go and not hiring people who know this shit. Like, compared to this, like, what it's pins and needles, man. Like, to me, I would rather have someone like Henry Cavill.
would you guys say? Well, I get it. You guys both think that this IP is in good hands with Henry Cavill. I'm on board with you. Okay. But do you think there's an audience for this?
Yes.
Mike?
I don't think a mainstream audience is ready for this if it's not presented correctly.
This has been out since 1987. This is the first time I'm hearing of that, bro. That's a little like I'm kind of taken aback.
Well,
by
that's
that. Like
that's the kind of point where I have with the toxicity of the TTRPG community. So Dungeons and Dragons, we know because media and popular media has given that to us in a base form. Yeah. But when we first got it in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was a joke. People that played D&D were nerds and they didn't get laid and all that jazz. And that was the joke of it. Geeks don't do anything, right? But now we have Stranger Things that's made it popular. We have
2022 reinvigorated Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
now
Critical Role and all
there's
these
more
things.
people playing it right now. And not only that, it's loosened up the gatekeepers for Dungeons and Dragons. Since it was so niche back in the day, it's popular now and people want you to play it. Fucking dungeon masters are like, this is for anybody. If you saw Stranger Things, come and play. I want people to come in. Come play my game. Come play my game. They want people involved in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, matter of fact, there's an article going on with the New York Times right now that Dungeon Masters for hire are in short supply in New York. So if you wanted, you could hire a DM. It's $20 an hour per person at the table. So I'll let everybody know I'm for hire right now if you need a DM. But
dude,
but that's the real thing right now. That's why D&D is more popularized with current media than this game because they didn't want anybody into this fucking thing.
And now you have a dude like Henry Cavill leaving DC, telling Netflix to eat a dick in The Witcher, and he's like, "Come and follow me to Warhammer."
Yo, that is so lame. Like, why would you not want a game like this to grow and allow as many people to fucking play it as possible?
And who would you want to get in front of it other than a dude that's into it like that?
But it's the same fight that I have with my buddies that play the older editions of Dungeons & Dragons. Like, oh, well, these new guys, they don't know how pure the game was when it was this rule and that, and we actually died, and THACO this, a bunch of old horse shit. They don't want new people in because it changes the dynamic of the game and version they loved. They don't want change. When you got guys like me, it's like, fuck it. I need the new people here because if new people come in, I get new things. D&D continues to grow. But it's people that don't want change compared to people that will accept change. Yeah. And it's just the curse of every product.
That's just what it is.
I just don't like the fact that in doing so, you're going to be playing with the same people. That's not boring. Like you're playing with the same people all the damn time.
It's the same dudes you watch football with. It's the same dudes you go to watch movies with when you go to the theater. You play it with your best friends. You go get food after. You go do stuff. You just create time. It's the same people you played Mario Kart with in high school and in college when you got out every Friday. And when that moment ended, you were kind of like years later, like, damn, dude, what happened to that?
But I didn't mind more people playing. Of course I had fun with my friends playing.
But that shows you're not a toxic player.
Yeah.
And we have so many toxic players. Even in D&D, there are times where people like my poor wife is a perfect example. She's gonna kill me when I say this, but
does she play?
No, she plays Dungeons and Dragons with me, right? Her and I have played D&D together since high school. But we have a DM that we play with every once in a while that makes it a point to fuck her over as much as possible. like his goal in life is just to piss her off and make her life miserable. So I know he's going to do this. And my goal in the game is to wreck his shit. That no matter what story he puts in place, I'm going to do the opposite and fuck that story up so my wife can continue her character on. Yeah. And I just don't care. But that's the level of toxicity that happens here.
And then not only that, we have to take into the times the psychology of those moments, which was a lot of these people playing these games were very much introverts. And they were ridiculed and hated and hurt because of liking these things. So the opportunity for them to open up to new people was them opening up and letting their guards down. Nowadays, it's more in the fact that people want acceptance.
Yeah.
So nowadays, it's like, dude, Dungeons and Dragons, like a couple of months ago, like years ago, nobody gave a shit about. And then all of a sudden, Stranger Things talked about it. You got a couple of actors from the nostalgia era. And then all of a sudden, everybody knew what a Demigorgon was. All of a sudden, everybody knew how to roll the dice and play the game. Other people were looking for DM games just to get involved in it. Mm-hmm. It reinvigorated enough that Dungeons and Dragons made overhead this year, which it was already doing, to be able to make a film and get like actors. That's big. And then not only that, Vox Machina, which is another series on Amazon, super high quality show, fun, super high quality, which is going to be literally what Dungeons and Dragons is practically about. All you do is get growth. Warhammer's been around for a long time. It's made a fuckload of money on its own.
What was around before Warhammer or Dungeons and Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, okay.
But I was gonna say, like, what was the other one that was before that? Cyberpunk, or no? It was something that was like Cyberpunk that used to be Rifts. Was it Rifts?
No. So in the
tabletop
pecking
age,
order.
Order TRPGs, Dungeons and Dragons was made from a game-based model called Chainmail. Chainmail became D&D. D&D created the D20 system and all the worlds that sprouted out that. So you got Rifts. You ended up with D10 systems like Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and it created a ton of different games. And then from there, you got the miniature games, which are like Warcraft and Warhammer, all those other sister stuff, and they kind of sprouted out from there. So yeah, because D&D is just campsite storytelling with math involved.
I mean, how beautiful is it to know that back in the day, we played Dungeons and Dragons and did all this stuff as kids, and it was very niche, and you had to either order it or call it in you had to mail from comic books from the little advertisement pages, like to be able to even have Dungeons and Dragons stuff. You know what I mean? Like, especially down here, because we're so far down that we didn't have a lot of people selling this stuff. So imagine that. And now, after the popularity of Stranger Things and rebuilding the franchise, that they have a Dungeons and Dragons beginner essential kit sold at Target worldwide.
No shit.
You know what I mean? Like, you can go to Target now.
My first set of D&D items, I had to buy it at Myth Adventures, and I lived in Harlingen. So I had to drive an hour and 30, minutes to get to the one comic shop that had it in the Rio Grande Valley.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You see, and that's super crazy. And now, fucking 30, 40 years later, now it's at Target. And it had already been popular. It was already popular. Like, even in the 90s, Dungeons and Dragons was popular. But now Target picked it up and turned it into a board game that now anybody can play. Super, super amazing. I have to say, I'm super excited. What do you guys feel about the idea of Warhammer coming to Amazon as a series? Like, how do you feel, Mike? Especially you kind of get you understand the Warhammer lore and idea of it. You know, for me, I'm already excited. The reason why is because fucking Space Marines are like 18 feet tall. The one dude can like tank a battleship into sea. Like, what more do you need to see an army of these motherfuckers pop on a planet and just start, swinging, literally shooting a shotgun that was called like Hellfire, like a Doom, like everything's titled like shit from Doom, the video game. Yeah, like you cannot go wrong with how cool this is.
Honestly,
testosterone level out the roof, dude.
Amazon's gonna bank. Amazon will make money. Yeah, there's no way they don't. There are enough of niche fans to feed into it and want to see it, and they're either going to watch it because they're excited or they're going to hate watch it. And
think of it this way,
that goes to views.
You both are all about, like, you guys know your idea of business, right? Think of all the products that Warhammer has. Miniatures, suits, costumes, books, animated films, fucking video games as a franchise, and all of them are being sponsored by Amazon, the biggest product consuming platform on the planet to sell products.
Something about this, my only issue, and I don't want to keep going over and over, like my only issue with them making this show is I'm having a hard time understanding where the viewers are going to come from. If this is something that has a very niche audience or a very secretive or secluded audience, I don't understand where the viewers are going to come from. So I'm 40 years old. I've never heard of this shit
before.
It's the
same issue that we could look at with Amazon series The Wheel of Time, right? It's a Robert Jordan fantasy novel, and it's a very niche group that should have only watched it. I'm a huge fan of the series. My wife is rereading it right now, and that book series is like 12 books. 15 books. Sorry, she corrected me. She was like, "Come on, count right." But like it was still a hit on the show because they presented it in a way to introduce new fans to it, and that's what's going to happen with Warhammer. They're probably going to say, "Fuck all the rest of the lore for now. We're going to pick on this one era, the Empire, and we're going to feed you that."
The pretty part.
Yeah, it's all much more violence, much more hypersexualized, much more action-packed Star Wars than you would have gotten with Disney.
Imperial.
And that's probably how we're going to angle this: the anti-Star Wars, anti-Disney sci-fi feature you've been wanting this entire time.
I think it's going to be there to rival the what's that shit, the Game of Thrones Star Wars series they're planning. That's what I think they're going to plan to fight against. That's what I think they're going to plan to build up against. I think it's a great idea for Amazon as a company going against Disney to try to go against their biggest competitor.
Freaking George coming in clutch with the horrible.
Yeah, dude, they're going to have 40,000 episodes, dude. That's the only way they're going to get to explain every day. They're going to explain every day. Mike, I got to say thank you for jumping on the show today, man. It's always an amazing time to have you. You are a pleasure, and it's always funny. You always bring such great insight, and I'm happy everything's going for you in college, man. Mike, where can we find you, and what's coming up next for you? I know we have an event.
We have Storytellers and Legends happening February 20th through 26th. We are now a week-long event. The city of Mission has
week-long
pushed us to create the first ever convention of its style here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Sweet.
We are focused on education first. So Monday through Friday, we're bringing in every school's district from Laredo down to Brownsville to our event to provide access to students that get told what I got told as a kid. Miko, you're never going to draw Spider-Man for a living. Miko, you can't write about comic books and make a life out of it. So you have to go to school for something else. Here we're going to show kids that those are real careers and viable careers. Bring authors and celebrities so they can ask them how they did it. There's a lot of crazy things. To find us on Facebook, Storytellers and Legends Convention, and you can just see all the crazy announcements we have going on.
Excellent, brother. And when does this happen?
February 20th through the 26th. Yeah.
Okay, 20th. Damn, 6 days. 6 days.
Yeah.
And Brian, what about you, man? What do we got coming up?
Dude, just have a new episode of the Gym Class Majors podcast, which you can find out on all major platforms. We have a new episode coming out tomorrow where we talk about a whole bunch of craziness stuff that's going on out in the world. And that's it, man. You can catch me on YouTube. You can catch me. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitter. You name it, we're on it. So
we're on everything. We're on everything.
We're on everything, bro.
I want to say thank you again so much for you guys. Thank you for coming, Brian. Of course, thank you. I know you're a busy man doing your moving, and Mike, you're a busy man being that college life and that dad life, man. So thank you so much for jumping in with us, guys. Don't jump off yet. Wait for me, and we're gonna wait in the green room. I got to talk to you about something, but I want to tell everybody in the comment section, thank you so much for coming in and tuning in. To all our extraordinary listeners, thank you so much for every week for tuning in, jumping in with us, jumping up into the conversation in the comment section. We appreciate every one of you. Don't forget to try to check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. It helps us out. And do me a favor. Go out there and try to help us spread the word. Tell someone about the podcast. Go out there and mention it to someone. In fact, if you can, make them show you on Spotify that they found us. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build our brand. We're trying to make sure our podcast gets bigger. We've been having these great opportunities happen, and we want to get bigger and we want to do greater things for you guys. The only way we can do that is if we have awesome fans, just like the way you guys have been doing, and we appreciate every one of you. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again here every Friday on the podcast. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you laters.
Peace.